What's up, everyone? Welcome to the PokeManiac podcast. Ruffled Rowlet is not with us today. He will be back next week. I'm Dusty Go-Goat. We've got Cam Tendo here.
What's up, everybody? I'm excited to do this episode.
Lumio's Post is with us.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
And SoulSilverArt.
Hey, guys. Get ready for some good stuff.
I hope everyone's having a great week. Let's jump right into it. Soul, you want to start us off?
We're looking at a whole list of a leaker that just came out of nowhere, and he called himself Kaka the first time. Then he was just, don't screenshot me. And
his name now is Don't Follow Me.
Yeah, that's his name. So we just went with Kaka for the whole thing. But basically, he just came out and actually leaked real photos of Scarlet and Violet, and from there he started answering questions and all that. And these are just new Pokemon that we think. So the list itself, before we get into it, the starters are basically known. The rest of the list is subjective in a lot of ways because his translations were very hard. He didn't speak English, it was broken. He didn't speak Japanese well, it was also broken. So like translating it in Google Translate and all this mess was hard to do. So the results vary, let's say. Like we have a solid concrete idea on most of this, and like I said before, some people put together this list, and I helped them out with it. So it's like one of the most accurate in my mind, obviously, that we that we can like come up with. There are a few things already wrong with it, just off the top of my head. When we get to them, I'll let you know. But
all right, please.
Yeah, that's just to preface the whole thing. There is room for it not to be 100% confirmed on all of these things.
Even just seeing this like massive list of all the information that we've been given, just kind of compiled together, is really exciting. I feel like I'm looking at, it's November and I'm looking at the Cerebi decks now. This is sick. Coming up first, we got Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley. We can see right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let's see. It looks like that leaked image of Sprigatito that we saw with the pink collar and the black body is going to be the third evolution for Sprigatito. We still don't have any information about what the second form is going to look like, and that's going to be a grass and dark type Pokemon. Fuecoco is going to, I think it was Soul who kind of nailed this in the head. Fuecoco will become a fire and ghost type crocodile with this crown that is going to resemble some sort of fiery bird. Like the little tuft on its head is going to look like a bird. I don't know. That's really cool, I think.
I love it.
Yeah, we can talk about like each one too if you want a little bit.
Yeah, and then let me just wrap it up with Quaxley. We can talk about all of them. We've got Quaxley. Yep. Water is going to evolve into water and fighting type. I'm really excited about this like typing. I think it's kind of underrated. Like even though it's been around since Gen 1, like I feel like it's hasn't really had something good tied to it. No offense,
Urshifu.
That's not that good, I don't think. But
Urshifu Rapid Strike's incredible.
It is true.
We're talking design or competitive? Because competitively, it's great.
I'm talking about design. I'm never talking about competitive.
Oh.
That is important to know because it is good competitive. But yeah, design, I liked the other one better.
I like the other one better as well, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Single strike.
I mean, I feel like these typings have been out for like a long time. So us, there's four of us right here. Like we've kind of known about these. My opinions honestly have not changed too much. We've even had these images, I feel like, for a couple weeks now, almost a month. So, like, well, I don't know. Do you guys have any hot takes about? I mean, it seems like this is what it's going to be. The only new info is Fuecoco.
Yeah, we've got some info on each of them. It's just that obviously Sprigatito will be bipedal. Its final will be. Yeah. Fuecoco's final will be quadruped. And then Quaxley's final is going to take some, while I imagine still retaining the duck face and all, it's still going to incorporate a peacock and a dancer into its design, which is interesting to say the least.
See how that looks. I'm both excited and concerned about that.
Same. Yes.
I'm really excited. I'm actually like super excited about it. I feel like it's gonna be cool looking because I mean, Ku and was it Kaka? Maybe I don't know. Maybe he didn't. But Ku at least was like it's his favorite one. It looks pretty cool. And I mean, the picture that we see of the front and the back of it, even though they're both terrible images, like it looks pretty. I think that it's gonna be the coolest one, like quote unquote. You know,
A poster child like Cinderace's. Like how every gender has that one poster child, Final Evolution.
Yeah.
yeah. I would have
it,
never
yeah.
expected it for him. Like we all thought Fuecoco, but I don't know if it, I don't know if it is him.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
It could end up being Sprig too, because we know that Sprigatito has that like hidden ability that's going to be like insanely broken. Usually, that goes to the poster child, like Libero with Cinderace and Protean with Greninja.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say is the poster child for Gen 7? Was it Decidueye or Incineroar?
I don't know. I feel like my judgment of that's been askew because Incineroar is so prominent, like now,
Everywhere.
like post. But I don't know. I always felt that Rowlet was the intentional one.
Yeah, it's weird.
As a baby.
It's definitely weird. You think it would be Rowlet, but I think it was turned into Roar for sure.
But you know what? It was probably totally Incineroar because that's the one they put in Super Smash.
Yeah,
right.
but
Well, you know
the
whole
one
story
of the
with
reasonings.
that.
Yeah, one of the
Right.
reasonings why is because Decidueye was already in Pokken, and having come in two fighting
I didn't
games
know
just
that.
would be too much.
I did not know that. That's really interesting. That makes sense too, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Also, the whole thing where they leaked the Gen 7 starters was because they were sending them over to Smash
Sakura.
Brothers people. Yeah,
Yeah.
to decide which one to use.
I did
So,
know
like,
that.
they
That's
didn't-
interesting.
Yeah. They hadn't actually decided, you know, they looked at them and went with that, I guess, from there.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think that, so you make a really good point with, as scary as Peacock Duck Dancer sounds, Ku said it was his favorite, and Kaka rated them. Obviously, this is all subjective, but Kaka rated Quaxley the highest. He said it was 8 out of 10. Fuecoco, he said, was 7 out of 10, and Sprigatito was 7 out of 10.
Yeah, the thing for me, like, I mean, at Quaxley, the sketch that we have does look really cool. The thing for me with these, like, bipedal Pokemon is that they've always just, like, I don't know, I want them to have, like, I don't want them to look, so I was going to say I don't want them to look humanoid, but then I thought, like,
Birds
what is
are
it?
bipedal by default.
Yeah, like, that's maybe that's why. But, like, even what Sobble evolves into, Inteleon, is so weird. Like, it looks like a stick figure. So, okay, maybe I'm going to retract what I was going to say, because, I think if it looks like a bird, if it looks like a giant bird, that's pretty cool.
Another thing, too, is
I mean-
they always knock the bird designs out of the park. I mean,
Yeah.
Blaziken is beloved, Decidueye, both forms are beloved, Empoleon is, wow, you know?
Yeah,
so,
maybe that's what it is, that they just translate very nicely into these, like, bipedal forms.
They're naturally bipedal, that's why. But I
Yeah.
think, like,
That's gotta be
birds
it.
are just naturally look that way, so it works.
yeah.
I think, I agree with Lumi on this one, like, that they'll do good with the birds, and I think that's probably why. I wonder about Fuecoco, like, somebody said that it's like the Venusaur of the bunch, and that kind of stuck with me. I was like, yeah, because it's like on all fours, it's kind of just down, looking like that.
Bulky.
I mean, people love Venusaur, I guess.
Yeah, Venusaur is.
They do.
I've always liked Bulbasaur, probably because it's like anime depiction of how like nimble and quick it can be, right? Like it feels like it has a lot of mobility, and I've never really cared. Like Venusaur is cool. Like if I have like a Venusaur card, that's cool, right? But I think its proportions are very weird. Like it does not look natural. Like I feel like it's got the body of a frog, but it looks like it can't even move. So I'm curious to see what Fuecoco is gonna turn, like how it's actually gonna look.
Well, the good news is it's not a frog, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so like just that it's a crocodile already is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like if it has like a giant tail, you know, that'll be really cool.
I can see that.
You know, it
it's
depends
not
on like
just
what
gonna-
its face is like and all that.
Yeah, I agree.
Go for it.
I feel like they're gonna have to stylize a lot of the body parts. It's not gonna be just a crocodile. So that's interesting. We kind of skipped right over it, but like it looks like Fuecoco's evolution. The second stage is gonna have an egg on its head, like a fiery egg. That's really cool. I like that design progression.
The bird.
So funny.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I think
I don't know, for mid stage like starter evolutions. Sometimes there's like the best ones ever, and then most of them though are just like terrible to me. I'm like, man, get me out of this stage.
I do not like Gen 8's mid stages.
I didn't like Gen 8s or Gen 7s. Well, specifically,
you guys are not telling me this.
Well, I didn't like.
What about Raboot?
Raboot is great.
I hate Raboot.
The set
Raboot is a top tier starter, like top.
Gen 8 second stages are probably the best, next to maybe I would say next to Gen 2. Gen 2 second stage are like amazing. Honestly, now that I think about it,
Gen 1's really good, I think.
Even Gen 3 is really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Grovyle is.
That's what I was thinking of.
Grovyle is way better than Sceptile for me. Yeah. All the people hate me,
and I like Sceptile. I like Sceptile.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything against Sceptile. I'm just saying Grovyle, man.
I think it's weird because when you think final stages, I mean, when you think starters, you only think first and final. Second stage is always such an afterthought. So when you actually go back and think about which one you prefer, you're like stuck.
This is like a crazy fact about me, but Charmeleon was my favorite Pokemon. My first ever favorite Pokemon.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I've always thought the red on Charmeleon was better than the orange on Charizard.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
He looks like a little raptor.
I wanted him to just get bigger and have wings, but instead they changed its face and color, and I was like, oh man. Like the beta Charizard, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it only had one horn on its head.
Yeah.
You know, just like Charmeleon. So
was that
the
beta form, or was that the gender, like one of the gender variants that they were gonna put out for Gen 4?
Yeah. Right. So there's like a million different beta things that they created, obviously, because you know. But yeah, it was a gender beta thing for Gen 4. But it was originally that too. It was before Gen 4. Like if you go back and look at there's some merch that they made, like actually drew up. Even the literal Pokemon card, the Charizard card. You know that one? It only has one horn on it. It's the angle that it looks at, you would never be like,
I'm
looking at it right now. He's right. Oh my god.
Lumi, put it in the chat so I can put it in the video.
Yes,
I need to see that too.
There's more too. It's always originally supposed to have one horn, and then they changed it in the development of Gen 1, I guess. So
that's really interesting.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Wow. So no, that's definitely just the angle, though, right?
No, but see, that's what you think, but no, because we know that I'll have to find like other pictures of it, but at that point in time, like they still had it as one horn. I mean, maybe there's a chance that somebody drew it that way.
That's really interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Do you guys want to move on to Lechonk?
Yes.
So so hop in if you want to give any sort of information. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, since so much has started to leak, I've actually been trying to spend less time on Twitter. So I'm starting to feel like I'm in the dark about some of this stuff. But Lechonk, as far as we know, is going to have another evolution, and it might have this gender difference. We have an image.
Yeah, it has a gender difference, not in type, just appearance. Maybe stats too, but at least its type will be the same.
Yeah, we don't have any confirmation of it, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So it's just like I said, like, the confirmation of each one of these things is still not. There's some that are like very confirmed, and some others that are not. So This one, he did say something very similar to them having gender, which Lumios can probably tell you more about him, because I actually didn't cover it as much, because he would post it like 5 a.m. and whatever. I was just like, I can't do this. But
Insomnia for the win.
Yeah. So yeah.
He didn't give typing or anything. He just posted that picture, and I think most of us at first thought that it was a Tauros variant because it was, it was black quadruped, so we thought it was the Tauros variant.
I guess it could.
But, someone said something about it being Tauros, and he was like, no, that's the Lechonk Evo. Well, people were confused because Ku had teased that Lechonk's evolution would be white and wear makeup. And so someone like outright asked him, will there be a gender difference? And he said, yes, Lechonk has a gender difference. And because the Japanese was poorly translated, it looked like because again, this guy doesn't speak Japanese, is pretending to speak Japanese. So he's posting bad Japanese on Twitter, and then people are taking that bad Japanese and sending them through Google Translate, which is not good for Japanese. And so it's like the telephone game. It really is. But it looked like he had said Lechonk's evolutions would have different types and different appearance based off gender. But when he saw someone say that, he quote tweeted it and said, no, same type, different appearance. So it's
a good breakdown.
It basically is stat difference though. Like Meowstic, those are same Pokemon, different appearance, different stats, and different movesets, but still the same type. It could be something like that, or it could be something much more minor, like Venusaur has a gender difference if you want to be technical. But I mean,
yeah. I'm really I like these types of split evos because I feel like what they can do is kind of appeal to two different types of design fans.
Yes.
So I mean, if one's more animalistic, one's a little bit more goofy, that's fine. I mean that works.
That's how I feel because I was really upset to hear that we were finally going to be getting a pig Pokemon that may not go bipedal. And then when I found out about the lipstick and all, I was like, oh, come on. And then when this revealed, it restored hope for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same.
I'm excited to see it. I might not use it, but I'm definitely excited to see it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, it's going to be like double. It'll be fun to use a little bit. I don't know about... Palmy, I mean, we got some more information about Palmy the last couple weeks. Apparently, it's... so... Soul, is this
the new Landorus Therian?
Is Palmy really going to be the first form, and then it's going to evolve 2 more times? I know there was a rumor going around that maybe Palmy has a pre-evolution.
Yeah, so we wished that it would be that way, but it apparently this comes from what ended up happening was Ku came out and started clarifying things, and my heart was breaking because at least with Kaka stuff. We didn't know everything, but Ku, you trust what he's saying. And this man just went all right, this is actually what it is. This is his terrible misinterpretation. Here's the truth. The truth about Palmy is that the picture that we have is the final evolution.
Okay.
And the form that we already know is probably the first stage. And so the middle. I have no idea. I can't understand it. I'm the final one looks like Palmy standing up. There's not much different.
So there's no way. I mean, do you think there's any way that Palmy could be the middle stage?
I mean, there's a slight chance, but from what I saw, I don't think so. I think that Palmy is base form.
That's bad.
I feel like if Palmy wasn't the base form, they wouldn't have advertised it as Nemona's Pokemon in the trailer. I feel like they would have advertised the base form.
That's fair, because it is like a Route 1 Pokemon,
right? And they advertised her also having Smoliv and Lechonk. So it seems weird that they do that, but then also show off something evolved.
Okay. It is her ace, basically. I think.
Yeah,
but it's cool.
I was gonna say, do you guys think that when we fight her, she might use the signature move that revives a Pokemon, in just the most trolly fashion?
Definitely,
probably, yeah. If that's a signature move, I can't even. I've been thinking about it, and I'm when we think about reviving a Pokemon, we would think the entire thing is max revive. But do you think there's gonna be
probably
some sort of
revive.
Limitation on it, where it maybe heals 50% of the HP?
It's probably
25% of the HP.
It's probably 50%. Now that's still horrifying though, because you think I mean, my perspective is the competitive perspective of it. Think about VGC. A half health Kyogre is still better than a full health most other things.
That's true. Yeah, I guess you could really that's Pokemon with horrifying. A lot of HP. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it all depends if you can use legendaries like that too.
Yeah.
But when you can,
I mean, they eventually will. The first season of VGC, the first year will probably be no legends, but then like the second and third year, they start allowing you to use like 2 legendaries on your team.
Anyways, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, I
go for it.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just go for it because I'm gonna start a different line of thought.
Yeah, I guess I mean I don't know about VGC, but like what I've been watching happen is there's always like 1 or 2 dominant Pokemon with these like busted abilities, and then the next generation, so generation 10, they would just kind of nerf whatever is totally just way overused. I'm thinking of Gale Wings with Talonflame, Mimikyu's disguise ability. They keep nerfing these things like
they nerfed
years
Fake
later.
Out this gen because that was kind of becoming more common last gen.
I love Fake
Out.
Yeah,
that's what they do. That's how metas work, though. Like in any game.
So what I'm saying is like it might be busted. I feel like there's a chance that they might just be like, yeah, it's a full revive, and then
it is possible.
I'm so worried. I'm so worried. It's the new Landorus Therian. When I first saw Palmy revealed, at no point did I think that was the new Landorus Therian and Incineroar. It's it.
Definitely not the freaking evolution either. My gosh.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
so overwhelming.
Yeah.
It is. I'm very upset about that.
I think
I guess the best hope is
it's a majority feeling.
We're seeing a static picture. We can hold on to the hope that it'll look better moving around in the game.
Yeah, you don't want a repeat of Hisuian, what is it, Typhlosion?
Typhlosion, yep. Well, and it may not even be bipedal. It may just like kind of stand up because it's based off of a marmot, which is a groundhog, and they kind of are quadruped, but they'll occasionally like stand up on their hind legs and like sniff around. We may be seeing like that animation, and it may actually be like mainly quadruped.
100%. I'm imagining
that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm imagining like Pikachu in the anime, right? Like when it's ready to attack, it's on all fours and it starts running. I can totally see that.
Perfect example.
Yeah, I'm just like dumbfounded by the middle stage. Like, what could it be? What could it be that it's different from that?
I mean, the thing is like, actually, do we have any confirmation that Palmy isn't the baby form? Could Palmy be the baby?
That's what we think.
I'm thinking of we have Azurill, Marill, Azumarill. Literally, Azurill and Azumarill, it's just like a smaller Marill. And then you have, Azurill to Marill is just Azurill is just a smaller Marill. And then like it just gets bunny ears. That's the whole thing.
Even then though, like Azurill adopts like instead of becoming 2 little like just spheres, it gets rounder, it gets the pinker ears, and it gets the white belly. This literally just looks like Palmy changed its hairstyle and stood up.
Well, yeah, you are right. Hopefully, what happens is, I mean, maybe there's like a color swap in the middle. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, like if the middle one's like Charmeleon, then let's go.
Yeah, exactly. or like what is it? Thwacky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like Thwacky too.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the Gen 8 mid-stage Starkers.
I did too. Anyways, all right, we get there's so much of this Pokedex left. I think we're gonna have to start, just
these are the thing is these are the ones that we are like detailed on, like we know of them. So I think we'll take time on these more, and then once we start getting to like random bicycles,
we know nothing on.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've been off Twitter, so like I'm seeing some things, and I'm like, I don't even know what that's in reference to, which is exciting.
Yeah. We're gonna get into like the prime Kaka leaks.
Oh, nothing like some Kaka leaks.
I mean, Kaka.
Kaka.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. How are you guys saying that? I saw that Tyranitar was pronouncing it differently. Is it Kakaman?
I pronounce it Kaka.
He's saying Kaka man.
Kaka man.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, like Kaka.
Right.
But I mean, it's Kaka,
Yeah.
I think so.
Just Kaka.
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, Smoliv.
Let's do it.
Smoliv is interesting because, like, Kaka said that it was going to be an olive tree, and Ku says it's going to... That makes me think tree, like a big tree, like Trevenant, but honestly, I'm, like, kind of thinking even, like, bulkier, not scary looking,
I'm hoping it towers, or it's like kind of it's bulky and immovable, kind of like a rock type Pokemon, kind of like Gigalith.
Exactly.
I think that would be cool.
But Ku said it would be one of the waifus. It's our plant waifu.
It's like a feminine Golurk.
And
yeah, I guess.
I could see it.
I'd prefer it be like a feminine Trevenant. Like I'd want it to be a bit more like, I don't know, graceful looking, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm envisioning. Just a graceful tree lady.
Is it going to evolve twice? Is that confirmed?
Yes.
I believe it's 3-stage, yeah.
So it is
sent to someone in a like DM that it was 3-stage, and that DM leaked.
What do we think? What do we think that middle stage is going to look like? Because I think it'd be really cool if it was literally an olive branch and it had some sort of olive flower.
I think it's gonna look like Steenie from Gen 7.
From
like Sarina from Steenie to Sarina. It was kind of
like a baby or like a little girl or like a little boy.
Yeah. It had attributes from both first and final in it. So I'm definitely just expecting it to be like a goofy looking feminine Smoliv that has like I was gonna say it has like legs and arms now. Maybe the leaves are more hair like, and the small idea. Like the olive looks like a little crown or something.
And it has olives in its hair. I like that.
Yes,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Do we know? Is it will Smoliv maintain the grass and normal type? Because I look at the normal type the same way I look at a Zurill, where it's just kind of a placeholder. It has potential, but hasn't reached the potential yet of being a pure grass type. It could be. We
know it won't be grass fire.
Yeah. It'll be grass fire. I mean, are there hints at any other type that it could be? I mean, we keep talking about Trevenant, but that would be kind of cool. Grass, ground, grass, ghost. Do we have any hints?
Grass fairy, because it's waifu, like fairy automatically pops in my head.
Yeah, also, if it's an... Yeah, that makes sense. If it's an entire tree... I'm thinking of Florigis. Yeah, I could see that.
That also makes me think Xerneas, like the whole tree thing, because that's like life, and fairy kind of is a theme with that. So,
see, that's cool. I like that. Is there any info, Soul?
I will say, I'm excited about it. Honestly, I think it's going to be pretty cool looking. I think that there's a lot of confusion around it. I don't know if it's exactly what people are saying. Like, people are just instantly like, it's going to be a big tree. I think Centro even said it, but I don't know about that because of what Ku said, it being a waifu. Right. But also, like, have you seen an olive tree before? They're not that big.
I actually haven't. I'm looking it up and I'll send it in chat.
Yeah, they're about as tall as me or you. Like, they're not tall trees.
They're that small?
Oh yeah, they're very frail. Like, they're very slender. I'll send an image in chat.
They're pretty though. I mean, if I remember correctly,
definitely.
They're like white, or they almost like. Yeah, that is pretty. I don't know how
it's gonna be looking like. Branches. It is an olive, so it's gonna become a tree, let's say, and it's a grass type. So right off the bat, we already kind of know that. It's just like what direction we don't really know. We know probably feminine.
I'm gonna try to use this on my team. I think.
Didn't he say that one of the waifus is a lolly? Could this be the lolly one?
No.
He clarified that the lolly one is one we'll talk about later. The one with the hammer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the normal typing, I think that it might keep it. I don't know that for anything, but I'm just like, I don't see why it would get rid of it. I mean, I think all of the ones that are normal right now might just keep them, because I think normal there's a few normals that we're hearing about in these leaks, and normal might be a type out here.
Yeah,
it depends on the gimmick too, because the type gimmick might actually benefit normal types. Yeah. So there might be something to that.
Okay.
I think our knee-jerk reaction when we see normal is we think that's bland, so like we want to find a way that it'll change as it evolves. But at the end of the day, they're going to have normal types in the game. There's going to be new normal types.
Yeah, but no, for me, it's not that normal type is bland, but normal type would be... It's supposed to represent... I mean, it is a type in itself, but to me, I think of like... I don't know, just like... It's like or it's like a miscellaneous type almost. And when I look at Smoliv, when I look at an olive, it's just like as much of a grass type as Tropius or Steenie or Oddish. You know what I'm saying? Like normal, just like I don't think olives are normal. If anything, they are weird.
There are
I think
some
you could
things
grant
that
them other
like
types.
you just slap the normal typing on now though, because like think about like Helioptile and Litleo. That was really random. Them just throwing the normal typing on. I think the best example from Galar is Indeedee. They're satyrs and they have the normal typing. Fairy would make more sense than that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a good
think
point.
that normal type for me like has never been what you were describing, Dusty. That's funny how we end up like interpreting things on our own. But normal type for me is like a normal-ish animal. Like it still is basic. Like it still looks like what it is. I mean, animals not the right word even because we have an olive here. So basically, it's an olive. So it's a normal type. If that makes sense. Like if it didn't look crazier than just an olive, then they probably wouldn't do something like that.
Okay,
and the same might
sense.
go for it becoming a tree. Do you know what I mean? Like it
No, that
maybe
makes
is
sense,
just like a tree. You know?
No, that makes sense.
Lechonk's just a pig. You know, it's not. Yeah. It's a pig with dirt on its face. I mean, I can see it being a ground type, or I think it's gonna be fairy because of that tail in that picture. But, you know, if there's not much backing it up, like lore wise, especially, then a lot of times they're just like, well, we need some normal types. You know, like normal types are bland to us because they're just literally animals or things.
Yeah.
Like
it's I imagine it's almost like the animal. It's like the Pokemon exists and it's based on an animal, but it doesn't actually have access to. I guess like it's not like I think of like an elemental creature, right? It's like something like Boldor is literally comprised of rocks, so it's like the element of a rock. Where something like Litleo, it's just a feline that has access to some of the firepower, but it's not like it has like it doesn't have what we see in starter Pokemon where its tail is on fire. So I can see that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It is funny how you can there's just multiple interpretations of the normal type and any type really, but
yeah, it's a weird type. That's why all the birds are just they're just birds that also have access to wind. Yeah. But I don't know. If I'm being honest, I still am kind of puzzled on the normal type on Smoliv because just being an apple. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Applin. Just being an olive. I don't think that would be a reason to give it a normal type. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with the final. Like maybe when we see the final, it'll make more sense. You know, because if it's just a tree, you know, Or even if it's supposed to be like a girl, because it's a waifu or whatever. Well, I mean, you know, it's a kid. A kid is normal, or even an adult female, it's normal, you know.
Yeah,
it's really Game Freak logic when we come to this kind of stuff. We could try to figure it out, but sometimes Game Freak just does it anyway.
Okay, well, here's one last idea on the topic. I think normal type is also a placeholder for a lot of sound-based designs.
Yep,
true.
Exploud.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm thinking of at first. I can't think of too many others, but
all the sound moves that's a great example. Just the sound moves, Hyper Voice, Boom Burst, Supersonic, all normal type.
So maybe when it gets old, when it evolves finally, I mean, the little image that's in this, the little image that we're looking at in this Pokedex, I don't know. Maybe the waifu creature has has access to not the wind, but can play some sort of instrument.
Harp or something like a nymph. It could be like a nymph, from Greek mythology.
Exactly. But even then, though, I would want it to be fairy type.
Yeah. I guess they like to diversify things too. You know, they like to recently they've liked to make aquatic animals that aren't water type. You know, things like Malamar, Pinkerton.
True. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's what they're going for here.
The last thing I'll say on this is there is a chance that it changes, like you were saying. I think maybe one of them will change. Not Palmy's electric. Never mind. But maybe one of Lechonk or Smoliv will change. You know, because like you said, sometimes they evolve into something different.
Make Lechonk ground fairy. That would be sick.
Yeah, it's possible. What do we got next?
We got We have a couple bugs. We got a spider that evolves maybe 3 times or evolves twice. So it'll have 3 different evolutions. And then there's also a dung beetle. It's gonna be a 2-stage.
Which we predicted that one, guys. Here, I think.
Yeah.
So.
We predicted a dung beetle. The spider one, I'm definitely more interested in because this will be what the 4th spider Pokemon we've gotten since Gen 2 till now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the spiders though. Like I don't even like not in real life I care about spiders, but they're always pretty cool designs.
Araquanid is incredible. That was so creative.
I love Araquanid. Garvantula too. Like
yeah, they're all great, like you said.
Hot Pokemon from. I love Galvantula. I think that this one might be. See, if looking back at all the rest of the spiders, you're like, okay, they're just 2-stage. Yeah. I think that this might be our like Route 1 bug. Actually, I think that we might have like
these 2
3-stage spider.
These
so like a little baby spider.
I see what you mean. I will say I think there's an argument against that, and this ties in the dung beetle. So thinking about a dung beetles like the smell of like, crap. So, I mean, it talks about in Lechonk's summary that there's a bug that it talks about bugs hate its smell, and it says that smell is like herbs and stuff. It smells really good. So I could see the dung beetle being the Route 1 mon because it hates Lechonk's smell because it, mud and dirt and crap.
Right.
Interesting.
I'm saying more, I think, because this game is changing like the landscape of Pokemon. There's not really a Route 1. There's not really a Route 1 mammal, rodent, whatever, or bug or bird or anything. I mean, they exist, but they're not technically that. So I think
didn't they say that routes still exist in the game though?
Yeah, but it's open world, so like you can go wherever you want right off the bat. Like if there's routes, you're walking them. So I think that more than anything, it just says, is this going to be a 3-stage or a 2-stage? So like it could be the dung beetle related to Lechonk easy and be just a 2-stage. It could even be just a counterpart to Lechonk. You know what I mean?
That's weird that it would be a counterpart to Lechonk. I mean, I've always seen the bugs as like the first representation of what do you call them, like version exclusives. We've always seen that with the first few gens, and then so I look at these as counterparts. But you're saying otherwise?
You mean Lechonk and the bug?
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the spider and the dung beetle.
Oh yeah. I don't think so because I think that there's only going to be these 3 bug lines, like Ku was telling us. I don't think there's going to be many other bugs, if any. Like maybe there's a 4th line, but I doubt it. So like that's only 3 bug lines in all of the game. I don't think they're going to make them version exclusive.
What are the 3? I'm confused.
There's one more. Yeah, there's one more down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were getting 5.
Yeah, I wish.
I had heard 4 or 5. Was that like Riddle interpreted incorrectly?
Yeah.
Or it could be talking about some of the Paradox mons as well. Counting that like the Volcarona.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, if you add that in there, then absolutely. So yeah, those are technically 2 new ones.
That is true. Yeah, with new dex entries.
I'm hoping. Are y'all hoping for types? I hope that the dung beetle is like bug ground and the spider's bug dark because those would be pretty new. Nincada is bug ground, but it's not when it evolves. So
yeah,
is Nincada the only bug ground?
What?
I think it is.
I want to say there's another one.
I want to say there's,
but yeah, that has been what it was.
And then there's no bug dark, which is kind of surprising because like bug types are often used by the evil teams and all. You'd think they'd slap the evil typing onto it, but
or also just like it could be bug dark the same way like the same way Umbreon is a dark type. It's not really evil. It's just like a night dweller.
Night, yeah.
So that makes perfect sense for like Halloween. That's the new Halloween.
And like Pokemon. Spiders are like kind of. They're just creepy. Dark creatures. Female spiders typically like after mating will eat the male. Things like that. I mean, they're evil.
I just wonder if Game Freak will just Game Freak us though and not make it dark just because of that.
So we were talking about like how there's not actually going to be like rigid tropes tied to like early route Pokemon, and I'm also noticing on this Pokedex there's also not like really a early route bird Pokemon, but we do have this parakeet entry. It's going to be a parakeet parrot, which is a cute little house pet. What do we know about this so far? We don't even know the typing.
That's all. That's all we know.
That's it. And some people, this is just speculation, but some people think that because of like the mistranslating and all, it's not a parrot, it's a canary. And I guess the reason they think that is because the Canary Islands are technically a part of Spain or Portugal. I think they're part of Spain.
Game Freak, please let it be a canary instead of a parakeet.
Maybe I could see being like canary in a coal mine where it's a ghost type because the canary dies.
Yes, that would be cool. I mean, sad but cool.
Flying ghost type, but it's just a bird. It's just a
that
dead
would
bird.
So make up for it because the thing about this is Kaka said that there's a parakeet Pokemon and that it's a single stage. And I'm like, why do this? Why give us another Chatot? Like we already want Chatot to evolve like on its own. Mm-hmm. We don't need another parrot that is exactly the same, except probably worse because it doesn't even have like a singing thing to it. You know, it's just a parakeet. And I really hope that whole canary thing is real. I'm just gonna. I
don't think it'll be normal flying. I think that it would at least like the most basic answer to it would be pure flying because they made a point to.
That's true.
Even though Fletchling was normal flying but became fire flying as it evolved, Rookidee they made a point not to make it normal flying. They made it pure flying and it evolved to steel flying at Corviknight.
I mean, what are the types? I don't even know what the attributes of a parakeet are. It is. I mean, it's not normal for a pet, but it is a pretty it's a common pet.
I mean, it's an exotic pet.
Exactly. That's a good point. It's a common.
Well, and then there's the colors. Like they can easily take the colors and make it psychic fire flying, type? Fire.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of Oreo feeling, but yeah.
That's a good point.
And then when you factor in music, you can take music and make that electric in the same way they did Toxtricity.
Yeah. So they really could go all over the place.
Would you guys say that the parakeet and the flamingo could be the version exclusive mons?
Yes.
I think a lot of people think that the flamingo and the ostrich are, which, by the way, I don't think I see the ostrich on here unless I'm missing it. No, there it is. Okay.
Oh, it's right there.
I see it.
Okay, good. I was about to be like, no way. We didn't miss another one.
Well, anyway, it does feel a little disappointing that it's only going to be single stage. I mean, there's something, it's nice to catch things in the early route and then evolve them, level them up.
Well, and I think it's how basic it is. Like a flamingo single stage,
that makes sense.
That didn't disappoint me because that's this wild thing. But like a parakeet, it feels like if they had said, "Hey, we're doing a blade of grass single stage."
You got to think about Gen 8 had 2 single stage birds with Cramorant and Ice Cube.
It did,
And they were kind of lackluster though too. To me personally, like Cramorant, like people love it, but that thing is just a random bird. It doesn't do too much. You know what I mean?
Like it's not good competitively.
Had
but
their gimmicks. You know what I mean? Like Ice Cube had the ice face thing, and Cramorant had the whole swallowing Arrokuda and Pikachu thing.
Yeah. I love Skarmory, but even like those Gen 8 Pokemon have more character and design to them than like something like Skarmory or any other like single stage bird Pokemon.
I can't totally agree there, but
I don't like Ice Cube, but I do think it does have its own thing. Well, up next we got a 3-stage pink Sonic character.
Is that Amy Rose?
Yeah,
that's Amy Rose.
That's our Lolly with the hammer.
All right.
I feel weird saying that, but yes.
You guys had to explain that to me in the Discord. So it's gonna be fairy type. I mean, that's cool.
We know a lot about this one because of Ku and Kako. Really, what were you gonna say?
I don't know. I mean, to me, I'm just thinking of like all the other fairy type Pokemon that we've had. This is just gonna be a little bit more humanoid. I mean, if it has a hammer, whether it's justice or fighting, like it sounds like fighting type, right? Or even if it's like if it uses it as a tool, that's still fighting type.
I think it's fighting personally. I don't know, but
fighting or
we know for a fact though that it's not pure fairy because they said Ku said that it was the ace of an Elite Four member, and we know that from Ku that the Elite Four members types have all been done before. A fairy type Elite Four member has never been done before, so this mon has to be the ace of another type.
Interesting. If we know the types of the Elite Four members and the gym leaders and the whole decks, we could start piecing together and speculating what all their like teams are going to be.
The gym leaders, and we do know the ace of one of the gym leaders, and we know this is one of the Elite Four members' aces, but that's about all we know, I'm pretty sure.
Jeez.
It's a little like creature with a hammer that's a fairy type. It's probably like fighting or steel, maybe. You know, like
cool. Yeah.
I don't know what other types you would think that could be.
Depends on what
I think rock, steel are like my go-tos, I would think.
And you also have to put into account the types that have already been Elite Four members. So like it can't be outside of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just wish we got new typings for the Elite Four members, like an electric type would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of like a little disappointed when I heard that. But
electric is like, I feel like electric types are never good. And I like electric types.
Yeah. Well, Palmy will be.
Yeah, that's true. Palmy will be good. And now we have a crab Pokemon. I'm actually excited about this.
Love it.
Like, we do have a lot of crustaceans. But I don't know
They're
why.
all amazing except for Crabominable.
Yeah, except for Crabominal.
I don't really like Crab Brawler that much either, but
I like Crabrawler. I hate Crabominable.
I like that it's like not just a water type. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I did like that.
But it makes sense too because those crabs don't really go in the water. Coconut crabs.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that too. Me and Lumi were with this crab, because I think it was me and you, maybe not.
Yeah.
We
were talking about it at least.
Yeah, we were talking about it like going off of land, maybe. But you were saying it was like a ghost, maybe a ghost. What was it? Kind of crab?
Ghost crab.
Yeah.
Crab.
It'd be really cool. We were just speculating because we know nothing. He just said a crab.
You know what crab I want it to be, but it's most likely not going to be because it's been done before.
What?
A Japanese spider crab.
Yes.
So like what Kingler just was kind of
cool. It's been done before with crab Kingler's Gigantamax.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's a cool Pokemon though.
What was that?
Yeah, that'll be
I always assumed that was an Alaskan king crab.
I thought that too.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was a Japanese spider crab, but if it isn't, then there's still a chance. That is besides horseshoe crabs, that is my favorite crab breed, which is really weird to say you have a favorite breed of crab, but I do.
That's what we're at. That's what we're doing.
This is, I just sent in chat a ghost crab. That's what I hope it's based off of. I love them so much.
It's cute. It just like kind of hides.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking like if it lives on the beaches, it could be like a ground type.
Oh yeah, I've seen a fan game use
it could
this
be
as
normal ground.
I've seen a fan game use that as their starter before.
That's cool.
Or a fan region. Those crabs are cool.
That's sick. So something I was thinking about is the regional fakes. I keep thinking like anytime I hear a pun of an animal or an animal of an existing Pokemon, I'm like, oh, this would be a cool idea for a regional fake. And what I kept seeing around my neighborhood is crabgrass. And I'm like, what if there's a regional fake Krabby where it's just like crabgrass with Krabby's eyes? I thought that'd be super funny.
That would be awesome. That's a good like representation of it. It would look like kind of like a crab. It'd be a shape of a crab.
Yeah, but it would be made of it would just be made of like grass.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome.
Because the idea is they're different species but look just like it. That'd be perfect.
I think regional fakes are such a cool idea, but
I agree.
So now
very excited to see them.
So this frog, this is the same frog that we thought would be electric type. It's unconfirmed, but we think that there's going to be a 3-stage frog.
Yes, that's pretty simple. That's like all we know. Like from Ku is electric frog, and that's probably it. I don't know. I don't know if Kaka said it was a 2-stage or not. I guess that's why it's like that, but.
It's cool. I mean, 3 stages for a frog that's not a starter is pretty dope. Same thing with the crab. If a crab, I mean, all of these like 3-stage forms is really cool.
Yeah,
I would say we got
really cool
3-stage. Well, it wasn't a frog; it was a toad with Seismitoad.
Yeah, that's true. We did get that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it's cool. I think. I mean, the number of the Pokedex is, well, from what I saw, it's like 120 to 140 brand new Pokemon, and I'm realizing, looking at this dex, it's mostly because there's like a lot of 3-stage evolutions, and it's making me think like, wow, the last 3 generations, mostly what we get is 1 and 2-stage Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate this list will be with the stages.
Yeah,
that's what I've been asking, like which ones Kaka actually said were stage 2 or 3 or whatever. But
it's interesting though. It's cool.
A lot of them are definitely.
And now, so do you know what this next one is? It's It says fire leaf and hot pepper. Are these like forms of the same thing? Are we not sure what the inspiration is going to be? It looks like a fire and grass type Pokemon that evolves twice. That's what I'm looking at.
I'll describe this one right off the bat because it's a little confusing.
Okay.
I think Kaka said he just put the emojis of a fire and a leaf.
Yeah.
So that's what they're running with here.
Yeah.
And then later on, like days later, he did an emoji of a chili pepper. And so people put 2 and 2 together and were like, it's a fire, grass, chili pepper. But because they were separated, I think that they separated them on this list and were like, we don't know if they're the same, basically. So it's kind of accurate in a way, but I think that it's probably the same Pokemon that's a fire, grass, chili pepper. I think that's probably the most accurate thing.
That's so
exciting.
Yeah.
Line or something, maybe.
Yeah, I think this is really exciting. I don't know. It's such like an iconic design. It's so simple, but it's like that's gonna be iconic.
I don't know how I feel about these things. I'm like I've never been
what?
a big food Pokemon connoisseur. Let's say, like Alchemy, I don't really love. I like its pre-evolution a lot. Yeah, that I love, but
because it's just milk. It's like enchanted milk.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. See, for me, I like the idea of Pokemon. Like, there's so many Pokemon that it's like something like a Pokemon possesses an item and it becomes like down the line that becomes the Pokemon. It's no longer like a ghost, right? Like there's a lot of Pokemon designs like that where there's theories like that behind them. And for me, food Pokemon are the same thing where it's like you get a little bit of like Dynamax energy or Infinity energy too close to a certain berry or whatever the original food was, and it just kind of like becomes its own entity. That's kind of how I explain it in my mind. And I think it's cute. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
He did, for what it's worth, he did confirm that was 3-stage, so that one is not speculative.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's kind of disappointing too, because I'm like, okay, the first one's gonna be a little baby chili pepper, which maybe
it's gonna be a little plant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope it's like what Cam sent in the chat, where it's like it's not just a pepper. It's got, because that pepper has that interesting shape where you could turn that into like a little lizard, and the part that curves is its tail or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, this thing that Cam sent in our chat, which is a pretty popular Pokemon. I think it's from Barbie on Twitter.
Xenoverse. Pokemon Xenoverse.
Yeah,
it's a good
Xenoverse together.
Little devil.
But it's like a devil pepper, and it's not just the pepper; it grows a whole body, and the tail is the pepper. And if it did something like that, then absolutely, I'm on board. Like this is, I don't love the devil look, but I like that it's an actual being.
It's like Sceptile's Christmas tree tail.
Yeah,
I would think that like it would be at least somewhat in that area, because it's a grass fire. It's the first grass fire. I feel like they're not just going to make it like, no offense to fans of Gossifleur out there, but they're not just going to make it like Gossifleur and Eldegoss. Like, it's not going to be this kind of more bland, just plant.
Well, I have that problem. I have that problem with plant types, with grass types, like plant type Pokemon, let's say, that are just based off of plants. Like, they are literally flowers or trees or just a plant. I usually don't find them very attractive, just personally.
Yeah.
But so like, I'm afraid with grass types like this. Like Decidueye is a grass type I love because Decidueye is an owl, but this is a pepper. So that's just me personally. If it becomes something like this, it'll be awesome.
I think it's gonna be akin to, like you guys said, how it's gonna be some sort of Pokemon that has the attributes of a plant, like Trevenant, or a better example would be Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist.
Yeah. That'd be a little better. I mean, it's still humanoid. I feel like there's so many humanoid mons. Like Ku was saying it too. I'm also afraid of this. But
averages, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think of, because I hear what you're saying about the plant Pokemon. They can get really boring. All these lines do is just like Oddish. All it does is mimic the natural progression of a plant.
Right.
Which is like that's what they do with like animal Pokemon anyways, right? Like you have the juvenile form, right? Or it's like an egg that evolves into...
It's just more interesting when it's an animal because there's more change. Like the change between Oddish and Gloom is not as significant as the change between Skiddo and Go-Go.
Yeah.
I would even argue though that like the Gen 1 plants are actually decent. Like the change between Oddish and Gloom is actually cool. Like I like that line. But then like when you go into further like in the future,
what about like Gen 3? I'm thinking of Cacnea and Cacturn.
Oh, I love
that's
humanoid
a pretty
as well.
drastic difference. I love that.
Yeah, that's humanoid as well.
I love those.
It's not often that they give us like don't give us a ton of grass animals other than the starters. Like off the top of my head, like you have Go-Goat and you have Tropius, and I'm sure there's some others, but there's not a lot. And that's what I look for because I'm not super interested in throwing like a tree on my team. So for me, if I don't pick the grass starter, I usually don't end up using a grass type.
And you don't need to. Grass isn't that strong in the grand scheme of things.
You guys do know I'm hosting the episode, right?
All three, though, you know?
You love grass types?
No, I like some grass types. I like plants in real life, but I'm hearing what you guys are saying.
I didn't have a favorite grass type. I mean, Decidueye was my first favorite grass type, and then now Flapple is. So I mean, we're as far as we can get from grass types.
Apple's cool. That's a good choice.
Like Trico is another great example of like a gecko that is like infused with plants, and then its tail is the leaf that keeps growing, and then it's got these leaves sticking out of its body.
Sprig's doing honestly a cat, but growing that flower around its neck.
Yeah,
that's what we need for this pepper. Yeah. We need the pepper to grow an animal body.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we could probably look at Smoliv as a kind of as an example of what it might look like. Like if we have this little, you could call it like Pete. I'm thinking of Pepper and Petite or something. Like it's just a small pepper, and then it'll evolve into a whole pepper plant.
Do you know what you just did? Actually, what if they are counterparts, like version exclusive counterparts?
Yeah, I can see that.
They're going to be 3 shades. I would kind of hate it too, but it makes a lot of sense.
They're both really significant, like vegetables.
And they did do that with Ludicolo. Ludicolo is our first and only grass water. It was a version exclusive.
That's true.
Cool.
The only other animal grass type I'm thinking of is Deerling, besides Go-Go and the starters, and Shaman.
I guess there's a lot. Wait, Shaman's normal type?
No, Shaman's grass type. It's a grass hedgehog.
Oh, true. Yes.
Yeah, it's a mythical. I don't know if
Right. Well, speaking of food Pokemon, we also have like a salt Pokemon. What's up with that? It's gonna be a white rock. That's what I think, and it's gonna like have I could see it having like a cloud of like salt dust around it, like Torkoal.
The thing was that was poorly translated potentially.
So what do we think it's gonna be?
The word that he used for salt also means tide. So
I have to counteract you already with this, unfortunately, because I spent this morning doing this. I said this specifically to Eclipse. I'm like, it's not just salt; it could be tide. And he was like, no, look at this screenshot. And he shows me this screenshot, and I double checked it with Pokesutami, and it was actually the guy that asked the question. We got all the way to him, and the guy that asked the question said that he sent me this, and then he deleted it. So it was what you're saying. It was salt and tide, and then he specified after in another comment that it was just salt.
So what does that mean? Tide, like the weight, like ocean tides?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what we saw.
Salt water.
And now it's just salt
water. Is it like the essence? Is it a ghost rock type, and it lives in? Is it like what could that be? Like what is that gonna look like? It's not a salt shaker.
When you say that,
you're talking about a blue like salt crystal or whatever, and some people think that he's hinting at the gimmick because it's that crystallizing thing, but some people think he's hinting at the salt Pokemon because it's salt.
Mine goes to like Chaos from Sonic. You guys ever seen Chaos?
Oh, I wish that was what it would be.
I'm looking it up because
put it in the chat. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of cool. For whatever reason, cool. I really like these like Soul. You're saying you don't get it, but like I feel like I have like a completionist brain where I'm like, oh, a coin doesn't exist. So if we're getting a coin that like checks a box in my head of like the entire Pokedex. Oh, dude, this image is sick.
I would love it. I would love
this
it.
Pokemon looks sick. It's not even a Pokemon.
Let me look. Oh, you're talking about Chaos? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's
Chaos,
like the main villain of one of the Sonic games.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that.
You can see it's like brain. Okay, so now I'm thinking of like Jellicent. Not Jellicent. Duosion.
Heligo? Oh.
I don't think it'll be. Yeah, that does look like Duosion, but I don't think it'll be like this really. I mean, it's gonna. You guys are talking about the Tide.
Yeah, Tide.
I think it's gonna be really. It's gonna be salt. So I think more rock.
Like yeah, I think it might be the
minerals.
Rock type mod.
Yeah, I think mineral.
It would be like our Geodude Roggenrola of the game.
Very possible. Very possible.
As long as
so
it's
just
not
raw
cola.
water.
I mean, I don't know about water. I don't know.
What does Tide mean? I'm so confused by that. Tide.
Yeah, it's you can throw it out because he said Tide at first, but then he re-clarified that it's just salt.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no Tide involved.
Okay.
The word he used meant both, but then he clarified, I didn't mean both. I meant just salt.
Exactly. Okay. I was disappointed as well because I was like,
no,
okay,
I like this better.
There's hope for Tide, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be really cool. You know, like it's a mineral. It could be something else. It's not food mon really, even though that's what we think of. But
I could see it like becoming very bulky and like wall-like. Because I don't know if I'm about to send it in the chat, but if y'all have ever seen a salt mine, they are huge.
That's true, and it's kind of like Carcoal, not Carcoal. Colossal. That'd be cool. See, I'm imagining this thing being a very brittle, like rock that just keeps falling apart, and it'll have like that ability when you get attacked, its speed increases, so it could even have a high speed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Moving on, we got a mouse Pokemon. Yeah, we got there's a lot of animals here.
Yeah, so this one's a little hard to say because he like hinted at it. It wasn't like there's a mouse Pokemon. This was something specifically from Pokesutami, and she translated his Japanese. And so it was more like, do you like mice? That was like the exact quote. So we don't really know if there's going to be a mouse Pokemon, but do you like mice?
Could it just be Palmy?
I mean, it could be.
I don't think so because he clarified that Palmy was supposed to be a Marmot.
True.
Okay.
So I feel like if he's saying Palmy's a Marmot, he wouldn't refer to it as a mouse.
That's a good point.
This could be our regional rodent, like like our Raticate, our Patrat.
The proper one.
Yeah, it could be the proper one because I remember Soul, you thought that Palmy was the regional rodent before all this stuff happened.
That's interesting. So is this list index order?
I think the person that put it together just assumed what they could,
And then also those dark mystery boxes. Is that just like an assumption? Like we could have 2 more evolutions for this.
Well, some of it it's not because with Chonk, we know there's another form of that evolution.
Yeah,
it's just a placeholder for it.
All right, interesting. All right, well, I mean, a mouse could literally be anything.
Yep.
Now
we're getting into that territory now.
Yeah. So ostrich, psychic type. Apparently, the ostrich is gonna have hair like Cleopatra. What is she, like an Egyptian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm picturing this perfectly in my mind, but I doubt that it's really what it's gonna look like. But just literal Cleopatra hair on an ostrich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly excited for this. An ostrich, that's pretty exciting. I love how too we've got a decent amount of African references here, which makes sense because Spain is very close to Africa, like in geographical location. I mean, it almost touches Morocco.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you figure he referred to the dung beetle first as a scarab, which is,
cool.
like a very Egyptian beetle that you think of. I don't know if y'all watched Moon Knight recently, but that's my brain goes to. Then the ostrich, the obviously Giraffariid getting an evolution. I mean, all that is very freaking.
That's what I was exactly going to say. That we're just touching North African vibes because we can pull from the nations around it and what have influenced Spain and Portugal as well. The Moors came up and took over the whole thing for 1,000 years or so. So they definitely have that.
Coco's a Nile crocodile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so there
that's
is
cool.
like North African vibes to this region, no doubt. Ostrich, scarab, crocodile.
That's
On
really
it now,
cool.
Gen 11 is going to be an Africa region.
Gen 11?
Yes, Gen 10 will be. Look, hear me out.
Right,
Sun and Moon had a lot of hints to Scarlet and Violet, like more hints to Scarlet and Violet than it did Galar. So Sun and Moon hinted towards Spain. So then now Galar had a lot of hints toward India. Clearly that didn't happen in Gen 9. So Gen 10
That's gonna
will
be Gen 10.
India or China. And then this game's hitting a lot of Africa. Africa will be Gen 11.
Love it.
I can get behind that for sure. My only thing is I really think they're gonna do a Japanese region for Gen 10.
I'm like be fine with that. I would love that.
I'm just like, it's the 30th anniversary, and who knows how long Pokemon's gonna go for, you know?
Have you said that before? Because I think I was just telling my friend that at the beach, and maybe I was remembering what you had told me.
I've definitely said something along those lines. It makes
cool
so much
idea.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. For them to go
it's
back.
Not like the 30-year anniversary, but actually it might be.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
yeah, it is. It is.
It'll drop. I think it would,
sick.
if we follow the 3-year pattern, it would drop technically on the 29th anniversary, but like right before. It would drop the November before Pokemon turns 30.
So this is
and
where
then
this is
Gen
where we
10 will
get
fall on Gen 5 remix, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, that could be so Gen 10. So how do you top Gen 9, right? It's already an open world game. Gen 10 is the MMO game. It takes place in Japan, and you go to all the different regions.
That'd be cool.
I'm gonna make a video.
That would be extremely ambitious, though.
Imagine if they just did. I mean, not even all the regions, all the Japan regions. You know, Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, Hoenn.
Yeah, they're all right there.
New one. Yeah,
That'd
be
be
neat.
cool.
They'll never do it, but that'd be neat.
Yeah, but there's space in between it. Like, I mean, that's a cool.
The only downside, really, I think, with all this is, I think that they're gonna wait till the 30th anniversary. Like, I think we're gonna get maybe a 4-year gap.
That's
like
fine.
something closer to that.
No, that's totally fine. Take your time. And there's so much that's fine, because then they can give us ports, they can give us other remakes.
Right.
We're gonna get
like
like
a Legends game.
Yeah,
sure.
Legends Johto.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so all right. So coming up next, we got 3 dog Pokemon. I'm really excited about these. Like I wasn't that excited, but now just seeing that there's 3 dog lines, that's adorable. One of them is gonna be a ghost type,
based off bread.
Yeah, we think that it's the bread one.
So what is it gonna be like moldy bread? Like I don't understand.
Think about like this.
How is it bread
The bread that Centro used was sliced. So think about the ghost type. Its body is sliced up.
That makes sense. Nearly headless Nick. I'm thinking of totally.
Yeah,
there
that's
you
a great
go.
example.
There you go.
That's gonna be crazy.
That'll be
I
cool.
think this is the one Koo had on his team too.
Isn't that like that's like a classic cartoon thing where it's like I'm imagining a dog, but then it's like it's like a ghost or a zombie loses its arm and it's like trying to move its hand, but then like it's across the room and the hand is moving. Have you guys seen any cartoons like that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be
like
more
zombies and stuff. They do that a lot.
I can see that in the
Olaf.
anime.
Olaf does that in Frozen. That's the example I can think of.
Okay.
Wait, would one of these dogs be one of the Cerberus things that Koo was like constantly hinting at?
I don't think he was hinting at Cerberus. I think that because that video where people were saying Cerberus, it was just 2 dogs, so people assume Cerberus. I think it was just him saying more than 1 dog.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
there are 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I'm still holding out.
Sad
wrong,
right now.
I'm still holding
I'm not
out.
sad. I'm not sad. I was just
Cerberus
like,
would be cool.
yeah, I want a Cerberus dog, but like,
I mean, there's a lot of Greek and Roman influence in Spain. Like, I mean, because the Romans ruled it like they did everywhere in the world pretty much. So they easily could have Roman Pokemon, just like they've got a bunch of Egyptian and African Pokemon. And Galar had Vikings and Phalanx for Rome and all. So it's very possible.
I mean, Smoliv already is one, so.
Do we have any hints at what these types are going to be for these other dog Pokemon? Could it be something where they're all... do we think they're going to be connected in some way? Like Ghost, Dark, Psychic, something like that?
We know that Ghost is a gym leader's ace, so if they are connected, I imagine they would be other gym leader types.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all we know, I think most of it was from Ku. Like, he was like, there's 3 lines.
Yeah.
And one the ghost. So
There's no okay, interesting.
Kaka revealed Ghost Dog, and so Ku responded with, yes, there is the Ghost Dog. We've been hinting at it. There's also 2 other dogs. They all evolve. But we don't know they evolve 3 times. That's speculative.
Yeah. I could see it just evolving twice each. Or
a lot of them do. I mean, you figure Yamper, Growlithe, Electrike, Rockruff, they all are one evolution, and then I mean there are some that aren't, like Lillipup evolves twice, so
bro, let's talk. The coin Pokemon has me so excited, and I'm seeing this image of like this little robot. Is it like a slot machine?
We don't really know. It's super complicated.
There was a lot of
gold ninja
confusion around that one.
The human doll.
So that's where the confusion comes from. Like, it started with. So again, this guy translates very poorly. He's pretending to be Japanese. He's not. Pokestutami said that his Japanese is literally worse than his English, which is wild. But he said that the gold coin evolves into a Ninjin. Well, there was a lot of confusion around that because a Ninjin is a yokai that like lives in the ocean, like this mythical creature. But Ninjin is also literally the Japanese word for man, like just a humanoid.
I think that it might be the most humanoid thing that we get, actually.
Right.
I don't know how.
It'll be our Machamp.
Yeah, I don't know where Ku, like the riddles that he did, threw us off big time because I thought for sure it would be like a mimic chest,
well,
and a coin. But I don't know what is what.
I mean, I guess like a humanoid creature that's like metallic would be a mimic of a human. To me, this is looking like a robot.
Yeah, that's just because of the image there. But
that's
not what it is. It's just like a man is what Kaka said. So like basically a golden man, let's call it. Like
C-3PO. I feel like. But then you have the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Like I feel like that's just a robot. Like I feel like that is kind of a right. I could totally see that. That doesn't sound that far fetched. Is what I'm trying to say.
That makes me very nervous though. I need to see the design before I like.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have your approval.
Who has been hyping it up though? So I feel like it. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's all subjective.
Right.
But who's been really hyping it up? That kind of makes me think that it's cool looking to him, at least.
Obviously there's still
Quaxley. I can. Quaxley's already Camp Tendo approved. Like Dusty said, you have to get the Camp Tendo seal of approval.
The official seal of Camp Tendo.
I'm just gonna get that. You know how like they have those Nintendo.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
You gotta get that on your logo, on your banner.
Yes, 100%.
Nice. Yeah, I think that like the coin and chest full of coins is still going to be involved. Like he wouldn't have just made that whole coin story up for what, Could
it be like? I mean, you guys keep saying it is going to be a man, right? So I'm kind of imagining like a coin, and then maybe it's not really a chest, but maybe I'm thinking of like a crown or a helmet, with. Like I'm thinking of a small chest or something that is about the size of a head that turns into this humanoid's actual head, because Pokemon typically build like that, where it's like a shape of the first form will be reincorporated into the next stage in a different area. So I don't know. It's this is the speculation
part of it all because we don't really know anything.
Can we just take a moment to for a moment of silence because we lost out on the mimic Pokemon?
Yeah. Okay. Moment of silence.
3, 2, 1. All right, mimic. You guys going for longer?
All right, now we have the humanoid. Okay, another moment of silence. We're never gonna get a dolphin Pokemon. We're getting a humanoid dolphin furry. That's what we're getting.
No. Let's hope. Did you guys see my tweet about like maybe it's a Zora though?
I hate that.
Zorua?
A Zora from Legend of Zelda?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, that would be so epic.
Right?
To me, that's still kind of like a furry dolphin, though. Like a furry form of a dolphin.
That's
It is
one of
exactly
my
that.
team for
It's
sure.
cool, though.
I remember being
Like
13.
I'd like it to be more like Garchomp.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's still weird. I remember being 13 playing Ocarina of Time and like being like, yeah, like they're kind of hot, but then like they're still fish. Like it's very, I don't know, it's weird.
I always liked like Majora's Mask, like Link turning into one.
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely.
it's freaking so cool to be this. I don't know. I like
Yeah.
cool designs. I'm always the cool, like, gotta look kind of edgy designs.
Yeah.
I'm never like more cute. So, you know, it just fits what I like. Let's say, but
No,
I
but
don't know
like
if that's what it's gonna look like.
graceful.
At all.
I just
think
feel
it
like
could
a
look cool.
dolphin. I feel like a dolphin should be more graceful than cool, though. Like, you know, like a shark is cool. A dolphin is elegant and graceful and beautiful.
You know what?
You know?
I can give that one to you because I have never wanted a dolphin Pokemon. All these people
Yeah,
this
me
whole
too.
time, I've just
So
been
get
like,
out.
I don't really care about a dolphin. Like, they're cool. Like, I want to swim with the dolphin one day because they're awesome animals. But like, I don't need it to be a Pokemon because it's kind of too cute to be a Pokemon. There you go. So
I think it was
Yeah.
a meme that became too literal, and then it just became like the big
Yeah.
request.
I agree with that. There's a lot of animals that could be Pokemon, but I don't think it's like required. I don't know. I keep saying this every week. I think I wouldn't imagined Garchomp looking cool if you had said a shark is going to be anthropomorphic. But
Yeah.
Garchomp is cool, and I think we could see that with the dolphin. I'm
And
gonna
it
call it
has-
psychic dragon type is what I'm predicting.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
You see
It,
under it says it has something special, a big surprise or whatever.
yeah.
That's from Kaka. He said that, so it has a surprise to it.
Who
Whatever.
actually said that? It was Koo.
Oh, he did.
Hmm.
Well, there you
Who
go.
said that the dolphin, because when Kaka, when people were like upset about the dolphin being anthropomorphic, Koo said, yeah, that one, haha, it has a big surprise or something to that effect.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Yeah.
I know that's exactly
Surprises
how I
can be bad.
feel. Right.
This next one's
Yeah.
really, honestly, this next one's dope. Flying fighting type flamingo. Where did this type get confirmed? Because it's cool. It's kind of played out, and I actually don't love it, but it is cool.
I think I'm gonna love it. It's from Kaka. I'm pretty sure he just
Why
said
is it
it.
fighting type though? Is it gonna be like
I think what's crazy
Dance.
about it is it has to do also with dance. Like
okay?
we're
Flamenco.
doing the whole the flamenco.
flamenco. Yeah, we talked about this.
But we also have Quaxley doing the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
With fighting, and he's a bird.
But we've seen that like in Gen 8 there were like a bunch of grass monkeys, and then like in Gen 7 there were like a bunch of grass ghost type Pokemon. So
No, I was gonna say like even with PLA, we had Decidueye and Lilligant that were both grass fighting, like
Yep.
unnecessarily.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe what it is, it's like they're like, okay, well if you don't choose that starter, you still have an opportunity to get that type combination. Not that this is the exact same thing as Quaxley, but
Right.
it is similar. They're both birds.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm interested to see what it actually looks like. I really am. I think Flamingo is one of those Pokemon where it's like an iconic animal, like a dolphin, where it's like, why isn't this a Pokemon yet?
Hey, I know we're
killing
backtracking a
birds.
little bit, but I sent what Koo sent about the dolphin.
Okay. Yeah. It's, okay. It's got a big surprise. I don't want to spoil it, but since you know the situation right now, I guess it will get spoiled soon.
But it didn't.
No.
Yeah, it didn't. So
That's good though. Let's
Honestly,
leave it at that. Let's keep it spoiler
All
free.
right. So we got.
Wait.
So
Huh.
the next 3 Pokemon. We have a fish Pokemon potentially with 3 different forms. We don't really know anything about it. I think this is pretty regular for our new generation.
Yeah,
We're gonna get a new fish
this
Pokemon.
one's
swordfish.
obligatory.
Yeah.
It's not really surprising.
I'm like, okay,
Get a
good fish
swordfish.
Pokemon. Like this is in every fake 4chan rumor of the decks, right? It's like a new fish Pokemon.
Yeah.
But the next 2 I think are so cool, or could be really cool. We have an Icicle Pokemon 2-stage, Ice type, and then an Engine 2-stage. No types are confirmed, but it's obviously going to be Steel type, I would think. Steel Fire would be dope.
Yeah, we need fire types. We don't have many.
Yeah.
Like
only steel fire we have is Heatran.
Is it the only?
Yep.
I could see one of those dogs being fire type. I could also see. We have the chili pepper. We got Fuecoco. I can see the parakeet. All right, that's my prediction.
We could be getting a lot of fire types for this generation.
I expect it, but we haven't seen any. Well, but not as many in the leaks. To me, I'm just always like, "Where's the fire types at?"
Yeah.
I'm really curious about this engine. Like, will it evolve into a train or something?
Yeah. Like,
I don't even an engine like steam engine, because again, you have to remember this guy's like just Google translating his words.
Yeah, we have no grid for what these things are for a lot of this. Like, it's just like, oh, engine Pokemon, but what in the world does that mean? And is it even
that can mean literally anything.
I do think it's worth mentioning. I don't see it on here, but Kaka did also say there was a new 3-stage fire type line. This was after he revealed the pepper and after he revealed the engine. So
right, I did mention that to Eclipse. He also had a fairy type on here too, because I know he said something about a fairy type.
No. Who revealed the fairy was the lolly.
Yeah, that even makes more sense.
Yeah,
in the end, we were just talking, and I was like, yeah. In the end, we were talking, and I was like, I mean, they're just general types. Like, we also know from Ku that there's going to be a lot of cool poison types. You know, like, it's not. We were like, do we even put it on this list, the fire type thing? Because it's going to be like 3-stage fire type. Okay.
We'll say just for the listener's sake, to give a little hope, Kaka did say that his favorite Pokemon in the game was, and I'm kind of assuming he's talking about this 3-stage, just based off like just my opinion, but he said his favorite Pokemon in the game was a new fire type that was not Fuecoco.
Yep.
So I mean, maybe, you know, again, all subjective, but could be a cool design there.
It could be one that we've already listed here too, that we don't even, he never specified.
Like a fish, like literally, who knows? I'm wondering if like, pepper. I mean, I'm wondering if like other Pokemon will take inspiration from, or take, maybe not inspiration, but like be representative of something that occurred in the past or in the future. Like when I look at an engine, I'm like, well, that could mean different things. It could be what Lumi said, steam engine, or it could be like this futuristic technology. So I don't know. I'm just looking at these.
Same with the bike too. That's the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have like all of these, just like they're all hints, but I'm curious to see what these designs are actually going to look like.
Just to go back before we move on, the icicle is interesting to me. I like am kind of hoping for some. I really like sharp edges and stuff. So
yeah,
someone said something like it reminds them of Avalugg line.
Yeah,
I was thinking Bergmite and Avalugg.
I was thinking that too.
So that could be really cool. Like obviously it's not going to be exactly the same by any means. I doubt it. So, but it's just similar, which is kind of a cool idea.
I like.
You know what I'm imagining?
Yeah.
Like you're walking in a cave and there are like icicles above you, and like occasionally one will shake and fall down, and there will be a forced encounter
in the Mario caves.
Yeah. It'll be a forced encounter, and it'll be this thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
What if they're like friggin' bats, like ice bats?
That would be amazing.
Dude, I'd love that. Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
Yeah, with like ice.
Bat Pokemon are so good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something like Sneasel, but more elemental. Like what Cam's saying, like it's a forced encounter. The icicles fall. Like the first stage is literally just an icicle, or it's just some sort of icicle, or like an elemental creature like a Geodude, and then it evolves, and it's more of like this little, like just ice, almost like see-through creature. But it has these like sickle arms, and it's like fast and kind of wily.
Get a iced up Chaos.
Yeah.
From Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
What you said, Soul, makes a lot of sense too, it being an icicle like bat thing, because when Kaka said what it was there was like, I think it was the same guy was trying to get information on ice types, who was asking Ku to give information on a new ice type, but was also asking Kaka to give new information on ice type. And so Ku was like, yeah, I'll write up a riddle for you. Well, then then Kaka posted, yes, there's a new icicle Pokemon that evolves. And so Ku said, icicle Pokemon? He said, are we looking at the same one? And like Ku seemed confused that this guy was saying there was an icicle Pokemon. So if it's a bat that's supposed to be like an icicle, that could be wise because Ku's looking at it like, no, it's a bat, and this guy's looking at it like, no, it's an icicle.
Right. That's very possible, actually. I didn't think about that.
I can definitely see the bat because of how bats look when they're hanging from a cave, and they're like upside down.
Yeah.
They're covering their bodies. They look kind of pointy from above.
Yeah.
And if you're in a cave, icicles look similar to that, so I can definitely see that.
Oh my gosh!
I
really hope this is the case. That would 100%.
What have I created? What have I done?
What have you done?
It is for you guys, but I don't know.
November 18th, Soul. I'm knocking on your door.
This is just off the cuff. I don't know. I don't know if it's real. But, I mean, like, regional fake Zubat. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Just an icicle Zubat.
I think it makes a lot of sense. How are you guys interpreting an engine, though? Because an engine is, like, is it going to be like Carcoal or Roly-Coly, where it's this little, like, automized, like, just, like, this self-powered thing? Because when I think of an engine, it's like the core of something. But like, how does that exist by itself?
Like a train. My go-to thought was a train, and I mean that could be because like when I was like a little kid, like I grew up on trains and all. So now often, if the opportunity arises, I immediately go to trains. But when he said engine, I immediately thought like train engine. But
because an engine
just be yeah, like just a car engine, like inside a car.
It reminds me of like a battery. I'm like, what is it serving though? Like, how is it gonna survive in the world?
I'm like a deep thinker, but then I'm also a shallow thinker. Let's say, like right off the bat, like my first thought is the most dumb thought. Like, it's just an engine. Like I just see an engine. You know, I don't see anything else. But
what does it like roll on the ground?
Yeah, like I see engine, but I can't think of
how that would live in the
Pokemon.
world.
Yeah. I would need like time to just be like, how could this be a Pokemon? Like sit down and think about it. But like right off the bat, like right now, it's just like I just see an engine. That's it. I can't get around it for some reason. I don't know.
Because like the Vikavolt line, like that makes sense. It's like kind of like they all take care of each other. They're part of a colony, so that makes sense to me. Yeah. That they're like using the charged batteries, the charged bugs.
And it's probably something like that too.
That was cute too. I loved that.
Like maybe what it could be is like these immobile kind of like Roggenrola, this like immobile engine, and then engine 2 is like it's like the big brother. It's the thing that actually does walk around and uses engine 1 to help it like power up. So you could think of it like Vikavolt or like Dragapult, where it uses Drippy to fire off and attack. It could be something like that.
Do that and give it parental bond as an ability.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Imagine Dragapult parental bond.
Yeah, imagine. I wish. That could be its hidden ability. So someone explained to me these rideable Pokemon, because when I see a motorcycle, all I'm thinking about is the legendary Pokemon. Is that really what we're looking at here?
So this one confirmed it's different for sure, because I am confused about this. I was even going back and forth with the clips about it, because I was under the impression that there's an engine, a bike, and a motorcycle. And he's like, I think it's just one rideable bike. And me personally, I made a tweet about this as well, that I think that this is not rideable for us. I think it's rideable for the evil team, and I think it's probably like their mascot Pokemon, that it's like an actual bike, and we ride the legendary.
And no, I can add to that. Kaka said we don't ride anything other than Koraidon or Miraidon.
Yeah.
So we don't ride
the most
them.
Disappointing.
He did. I will say I never heard anything about a motorcycle. I only heard him say a bike, because some people, he said bike and people were like, oh yeah, Koraidon, Miraidon. And he said, no, not those. It's a bike Pokemon.
So what do you, I'm confused by, like, how is it rideable only for the antagonist?
Well, like you'll see them riding it, but you won't actually ride it, you know? Like,
we can catch it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's that whole, like, we think there'll be races in the game. Like, there'll be the gyms, the, like, tower trials, or what people are calling them. And then races, which are, like, you see these race flags in the last trailer. And so some people think there'll be races. Well, this makes sense because not everybody's going to have a Koraidon or Miraidon. So, of course, the people you'd be racing have to have some kind of Pokemon they're riding on.
Right.
And, I mean, the bike could be one of them. And then, like, another, assuming there are multiple races, someone could be riding the Tauros. Someone could be riding another Tauros. Someone could be riding the other Tauros, you know?
The ostrich.
Yeah. The ostrich, yeah, that's good.
But see, I don't think that we'll be able to ride them.
Yeah,
we're in a bike race.
You just said just Koraidon, Miraidon.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. There's lots of questions with that. I would definitely I would hope that there are multiple things to ride because it would feel kind of boring if every single person that you race or everything that you see in the overworld is just this singular Pokemon. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense if it's like cultural. But still, like, the magic of the world is that there's so many Pokemon to choose from. So if we go down a row on the left-hand side, are those are new Pokemon as well?
Yeah, I believe.
Wider new Pokemon. It's color-coded.
Okay.
Wider Pokemon. Mankey's not a new Pokemon, for example.
I see. Okay,
like a wider Pokemon. Yellow's cross-gen. Green is forms. Red is forms, purple future form.
So it does look like we have 3 more bugs potentially. Assuming
we don't think that the worm is a bug type.
Okay.
I also don't think the samurai exists.
But it is a worm.
No. I think the samurai exists, but I don't think that it's a bug type.
Okay.
Because the reason that I think it doesn't exist is because he was saying it while he was talking about the B-Sharp Evo, like while he's hinting at it. So I was under the impression he was like hinting it's the samurai because that was actually it was where he said like something about samurai that I commented B-Sharp, like a gif of B-Sharp, and said new evolution, and he like put the little
he gave you the little wink.
Yeah.
that was tricky. Nobody caught that. That was good. I like that from him.
Yeah.
Good on you, Kaka. It was just a bunch of emojis, and then in the middle of them had the little hush one.
Yeah.
I think you might be right about that because all I saw when referring to this was just a samurai. Like there's a samurai Pokemon. I saw his exact quote. Like there is a samurai, and so like the only other option I was seeing was the Amoonguss past form. I think that's kind of like a samurai is supposed to be. So that's the only other thing I was thinking of. So maybe it's not Amon, you know.
It was while he was, because a bunch of people were trying to figure out, this was when we didn't know Ponyard or Mankey were the Gym 5 and Gym 1s getting cross-gen Evos. And so people kept asking him, like, is it this one? Is it this one? And he goes, Samurai. And so I think people got confused, but given the context of what was going on, I assumed it was him hinting at B-Sharp. And then I think people got more confused because when they heard a samurai Pokemon, they immediately thought back to, Ku said there will be a Japanese bug Pokemon. Samurai worked perfectly for that. But I think the Japanese bug is the common rider, and the samurai bug doesn't exist.
Exactly. And literally, Galissapod exists.
Right.
I love me some common rider. I am so excited for that.
I'm excited for
it. Guys, I've known about this one for a long time, and I'm just like so happy that it's happening. I'm just like, yo, common rider bug, let's go.
What's the lore behind this?
We've had 2 common riders bug types in the past, Excelgor and Ledian.
Yeah, Ledian is dear to my heart as well.
That's sick, dude. Those are
this one's gonna be even more like Common Rider, I think.
So is Common Rider like a superhero?
It's a series. You know how we have Power Rangers?
Yes.
In Japan, they're all under the same genre of like masked heroes and Kamen Rider, and in Japan's Power Rangers or Super Sentai, they are both like the top 2 big superhero franchises in Japan, and they often cross over like a lot because they're like, again, so similar. Kamen Rider is a more darker show, while Sentai, of course, Power Rangers, they're both very kid-friendly, and they're both kid-friendly, but Kamen Rider is way more mature in terms of story, while Sentai is more funny and comedic. And back then, Kamen Riders used to be bug-based, which is why, of course, Ledian and Excelgor are a thing, but as of I would say like the past 10 years or so, they've kind of strayed away from the whole bug aesthetic, and they've gone for different different tones and stuff, like genres and things. Like the recent one is about demons, and they just announced the next season, which is going to be a battle royale, like a video game battle royale.
That's sick.
They look so like if you look up Kamen Riders, like I love the design of them, like all of them from the 70s to now. I'm like I like.
They really do look like bugs with the antennae.
Yeah.
That's
the earlier seasons were all bug based, and they were all mostly based on beetles, different types of beetles.
That's the thing, though. So like we could get any kind of bug. Like, is it based on Kamen Rider himself, like the main dude? Him,
well,
little boy right there.
Yeah, the very first one.
Yeah, that's the question. Is it the very first one, or is it like just any of them?
Look at these. This is honestly pretty sick.
Yeah, they're
awesome. It's a grasshopper. I hope it's a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one the I can name them. The one you sent. The first one, the one in the center, he's a time traveler, and he travels to the past seasons, and it was really cool seeing the past actors come back.
Is that not perfect for this game, though?
That's the guy. That's him.
The first one, the second image, that is one of the first writers, and he is bug based, and the last one is Saber. I mean, the second to last one, that's Saber, the red and white one, and he's a knight. And this one, I believe that is Dragon Knight, the last one you sent.
So the way you guys are like hyping this up, like this thing's sounding like maybe it's the pseudo legendary, or if not that, like is our rival gonna have this thing at the end? Like if it's literally traveling through time.
I mean, we're hyping it up. We're hyping it up because we love it. Like it could just be like literally Ledian, because Ledian is basically a Kamen Rider bug.
Ledian's inspiration is Kamen Rider.
Yeah. I could see this thing being. I mean, that's true. But the way you guys are saying it's like traveling through time.
Episode with it.
Yeah, that's
That's so cool. That was That was the Kamen Rider black and white episode. I love that episode.
That's sick. I gotta watch that.
For me, they could just keep making Kamen Rider bug type Pokemon. Like all of these, just make them into Pokemon, and I'm happy.
Dude,
Gen 10 is only going to be different Kamen Rider bug Pokemon. They're all called Charizard, and they're just our fakes of Charizard.
Oh my gosh. The horror.
Dude, I'm so happy I love
in there.
Kamen Rider is like one of my favorite Japanese series, other than like most animes. So I'm even binging one season like when we're not streaming. So I'm really excited.
Yo, is Scizor a Kamen Rider?
I wouldn't. I don't know. It doesn't have a superhero aesthetic. It's mostly just I think Scizor is just a pun on how hard exoskeletons for a bug can be.
True.
Right, but think about like that episode from Battle Frontier where like the Scizor was like this masked like hero or whatever, or villain actually. Is what
that was a reference. But Scizor in general, I don't think he's a Kamen Rider reference.
It's got this humanoid aesthetic.
His
with
Mega
like,
kind of looks armor.
Yeah,
his Mega looks like a Kamen Rider though.
I'll give you that. It has a helmet. I mean, it's
you do have to take into account like how Pokemon was originally created, and like the people who did create it, they grew up in the times when Kamen Rider first started, and like Ultraman and Godzilla, like all of that stuff.
Yeah,
has been
those are all
this.
like huge. Those are all still huge, but back then those were like at their peak, and that's why a lot of the Gen 1 mons are either bugs or like of course like bugs, kaijus.
Yeah.
Tyranitar.
It's like our Marvel comics, like it started in the 60s or whatever, the 50s. But like let's say around this is kind of like the same thing. This started in like the late 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
So, that's how it goes. There's influences from it.
Kamen Rider started in 1971.
There you go.
Yeah,
very much like what they grew up on, the people making Pokemon.
Yep. And now it's back in a big way. I've seen tons of people with like Kamen Rider like little profile pictures and stuff, So I think
I'm constantly retweeting Kamen Rider memes on Twitter.
Yeah, so it's still very current. So
they have like a billion different Kamen Rider series that like were going on at the same time, because like right now there's 2 going on right at the same time. There's Kamen Rider Revis and Kamen Rider Saber are going
I
on
know
at the same
Saber
time.
just ended.
Okay.
Revive. They basically think of Kamen Rider seasons like Pokemon generations. They last for 1 to 2 years, and then it ends. And at the end of every season, there's a like in the last episode of almost every Kamen Rider season, the next rider comes in like a baton toss fashion, where they pass on the mantle to the next rider, and pretty much Revis at the end of Saber, Revis showed up at the end of Revis. The new rider will show up at the very end, and it's pretty much just to hype up the next season.
It's pretty cool.
And like I said, Revis is the one about literal cults and demons right now.
Huh. Yeah, that should be a fun Pokemon.
Dude, I'm looking forward to these. It honestly,
bugs are looking good this time around,
Yeah.
and so that's pretty
Excited.
nice.
all right. So
I wasn't a fan of many of them in Gen 8. I liked Frosmoth, but I didn't really like Sizzlipede or Orbeetle.
So it looks like I'm gonna move ahead, guys. It looks
Hey, go
like
ahead.
I think we're starting to figure out what the real new evolutions are gonna be for those 5 Pokemon. I think it's like a Gen 1, a Gen 5, and then 3 Gen 2 Pokemon are gonna get brand new evolutions. It looks to be that we just got a sketch this week of a third, or so it's a Primeape evolution. It's gonna be fighting and ghost type. We got a little bit of a sketch. Who was this from? Who was this sketch from?
Kaka.
I think Kaka, wasn't it?
Yep.
So
Kaka was challenged to like create like the Primeape evolution using
Okay.
only emojis.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I didn't even realize it was made with emojis. So when I saw this, it looked like Santa Claus. It also just looks like a little troll. It's this hairy.
I love it.
It's just this like it's like if
I hate
Primeape's if Primeape's hair just like grew out. I think I mean the image we got looks awful, but I don't know. I'm kind of split on it because I think it does make sense if it retires, if it's moved its body so much and it becomes a ghost type, you would think that it's finally at rest. So it never moves.
You realized it was hinted
and it
at
just
in Pokemon
overgrown.
Sun.
Yeah.
Love
Blaze
it.
Incineroar was talking about this on Twitter, but like, I think the design could be good. From what we're seeing right now, I don't love it. I think it looks a little. I don't know. It reminds me of Tangela.
I
You know
just
what it
wish it
reminds
was
me
like
of?
more spirit, like
Yeah,
Go
I
for
agree.
No,
Yeah.
this reminds me of. I'm going to assume I'm like the biggest Digimon fan here. It reminds me of It reminds me of Gigimon, which
yeah,
is
you're gonna have
a
to look that one up.
old man Gigimon.
I think I know what you're talking about. I used to
I
like
can get a
Digimon.
picture of
I
it.
still
Someone sent me a picture.
I still like Digimon a lot. I just don't follow it as close as this, that's for sure.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. I think that could be cool. I agree with Soul. I hope, and I think we probably will see a little bit more like details on the design and the final design to see what it actually to see if it actually shows like any sort of like ghostly attribute. I could see it's like having some different eyes, more restful eyes. But it'd be cool if it had some type of like aura around it. I think that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And it feels like so the Pawnyard's gonna evolve into Bisharp and then get an actual evolution. I can't get over the fact that these are like actual evolutions and not just
Yes.
regional evolutions. These are the Gen 4 like cross-gen evolutions that we've been wanting.
Yep.
So Bisharp's
love
gonna get a new evolution. Presumably it's gonna keep the Dark and Steel type, and it's gonna be some sort of reference to the King and Queen class of chess.
Yeah.
This just feels like a home run to me.
It is.
Love it.
I mean, what else can you ask for, really? Even if Primeape's evolution looks a little wonky to me, I mean, the rest surely make up for it. Like, I was just at work yesterday just thinking about these specific mons. Like, I mean, I'm already on the moon, over the moon, whatever, about freaking Dunsparce evolving. And
Yes.
then, like, I don't care if it looks similar. Like, Dunsparce already, to me, is a perfect design. It just was never strong enough.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes, let's just keep it the way it is and make it evolve. And it's amazing that this is almost the first time, I think. I was going to make a tweet about this. I still am. About, like, just this is the first time since Gen 4, basically, that we've had true cross-gen evolution.
Other than Sylveon, of course.
Except for Legends and
right.
Sylveon, yeah.
PLA with Ursaluna and
See, I would call those regional evolutions though, because they only occur in that realm.
You don't know that though. They might occur in Scarlet and Violet.
That's true.
Yeah,
because all of them are easily explainable.
Because Stantler and Ursaluna are both, I would say, regional because they're item based. But
Stantler is an item based. It's move based.
Oh yeah, it's move based. But Ursaluna was item based. It just had to be used at a specific time of night.
So I mean,
and in the Crimson Mirelands, which is why it doesn't exist now, is because that environment doesn't exist.
Yeah, but they can definitely pull it off by like making a similar area in Scarlet and Violet, and then NPCs like, oh yeah, Ursaluna exists here because we have a similar environment here.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like with Scyther, it evolves with the Black Augurite. They can easily just explain, yep, we have Black Augurite here.
Yeah, they can just say like it doesn't exist in other regions, which is why it isn't a common evolution. But here in Paldea, we have Black Augurite, so Cleavor can exist here.
So you were saying like about Dunsparce evolving to just be bigger, and I think that has me thinking about all the complaints that we've seen over the years since Gen 4 of those Gen 4 cross-gen Evos, how like a lot of the evolutions feel like complete pivots of a form rather than just rather than adding on to a previous design. Some of them really feel like totally random and misplaced. Those Gen 4 evolutions. And I'm wondering now, maybe if Dunsparce is a hint at these other... I mean, I guess we know what Girafarig looks like as well. These seem like very like clear-cut, linear evolutions.
Yeah, so like this is what I was going to say in the tweet, but basically it's like these are pure evolutions. So like we know their types, which is also kind of sad, but it makes complete sense because they're pure evolutions. So what would a normal type Dunsparce really evolve into? Like if they don't want to give it anything, if they don't want to give it anything, and that's why it's probably the similar as well, because it's just a snake and it's becoming a bigger snake.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know,
longer snake.
Yeah. Same with.
I hope its eyes open.
I don't know about that one, but
he's like.
I think its eyes will close, but its mouth will open.
Yeah, I think so too because of what Koo said.
Okay.
But Girafarig even like it's not that different, but it's an evolution. It's like a proper evolution, and it gets just psychic type because it was a normal psychic type and it evolved. It
becomes,
It
the way I see it is like the head was the normal type and the tail was the psychic type. But since the tail is now taken over the head, the psychic type has taken over the Pokemon.
It's like parasitic.
It can be like a Slow King type situation.
Yeah. I see it like cool. They've united. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're one now.
I feel like it'd keep the typing if it united though. Like pure psychic seems weird to me. That it would lose that type, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm still not convinced about that either.
Yeah.
Because the way Kaka said it all was very whatever, and I know that there are things that are wrong, and so this one's a very questionable topic here. But as for like the other evolutions, like so, the Primeape one is the one that's probably the most different because it's gaining a type. Like
but to me, it still feels like a. Yes, it does change, but to me, it does feel very natural. Where it's like you have this small little creature getting enraged and then burning out, and then it's like a lifespan.
Let's hope that it's like that.
Baby,
like,
adult, old man.
This drawing thing like doesn't give me those
awful.
vibes. It doesn't give me like it died and is now.
No, I don't think it. I don't think it.
Yeah, it gives me more like it's peaceful. Like like it found peace or something.
And it's just rotting away. It's like its hair is so long it just can't be. It's funny. It is funny. And it worries me that it's going to be like a Alolan Dugtrio, but
I
think it could be
dude,
cool.
I am like anti-hair on Pokemon with like beards, like facial hair stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not about it.
Again, though, you just got to remember he made this based off of emojis, so this could just be like, and he didn't have the ability to do this. It could just be covered in hair like Primeape is, and it's just the hair is a lot longer now.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what it is. I hope it's not like
It's like he's got golden hands on there. His hands probably stay brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I didn't really imagine, but we'll see with it. Then Bisharp, I don't know if it is the samurai. Like to him, because it's not going to be a samurai. But if he like sees it as a samurai, then maybe it's got like some wicked weapons or something. Like a king with like weapons. I don't think it's going to be a king and a queen. I think it's got to be either or.
I mean, couldn't it have a gender exclusive, like not?
I don't
different
know.
evolution, but like we talked about with like Chonk, where like they just look slightly different.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's a gender thing.
I don't know if I buy it. I think it's too much.
Like I've been on your side, Lumi, but I think what they really easily could do is just like the king and the queen in chess, they do the exact same thing, except the queen just does it more. What they could just do is have the same exact piece and not even make it that, like, it could just be like Gardevoir, where it's a prince or a princess, depending on how you want to look at it.
The reason,
or it could be like Meowstic and have different stat distribution, and the queen's just better
Like, that'd be cool.
It's more defensive.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so too, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Because it's just more. It's just like a whole nother thing. Like, why wouldn't he say like, oh yeah, and it has two forms? Or it's like, somebody should mention something about.
I mean, you say that, but remember Basket Legion.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Do you think that could be how Basilichium was a hint? A Gym 5 Pokemon that gets gender exclusive evolutions.
I mean, that'd be cool. I won't fault you if you're right.
I do think that you got to kind of shout out Bisharp, because like it is the first Pokemon outside of like further than Gen 3, outside of Gym 1, 2, and 3 to get an evolution. Like, because there is Basculin, but that's the white stripe that evolves. Like, so it was a new design that was made that could evolve.
It gives me hope that
the original
in the next 3 years, we're going to be seeing new evolutions for like 6, 7,
Get
8.
Komala.
Kamala.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Everyone wants
Kamala's going to be the next Dunsparce.
Love it.
God, I'm not about
theories that it's going to turn
there.
into like a legendary dragon.
Not yet, because we still don't have Smeargle with an evolution yet.
But Smeargle's got a whole gimmick.
I agree. I don't think Smeargle need. People say that. I'm like, Ditto doesn't need an evolution. Smeargle doesn't need an evolution. Kecleon doesn't need an evolution.
Chatot doesn't even, to be honest, as cool as that would be.
Opius does, though.
I could see Chatot.
The problem with Chatot is that it's like its design isn't enough. I feel like all the rest of them, like their designs are like, Smeargle could stay like that.
Yeah.
Smeargle could stay like that. Even Dunsparce could stay the way it was for me. Like, it's not usable, Going back to Bisharp, like, the main reason that I think that it's just a king or a queen, or even a knight or whatever, like, it's not, they're not all the chess pieces. It's a pawn and a bishop.
Yes.
So, like, if they had all of them, then okay. But they have to just basically choose another one that it's going to evolve into. And I feel like a knight actually is there a knight?
Yeah, there's knight, rook, and bishop.
Yeah.
And those are all like a level up from a pawn.
Yeah. So like the knight would make a lot of sense to me.
Oh wait. Yeah, that's a good point, because the pawn can't become a king or a queen. It can become a knight or a rook, but it can?
Yeah, so the way it works is if you get a pawn all the way to the other end of the board, you can in the Pokemon terms, you can evolve it into any piece. That's why I've always liked my idea.
Okay.
I mean, I like the idea that it, like, Pawniard could be like a Tyrogue, where it evolves into any, like, all these different types.
That would have been really cool.
But that's not. I mean, that's not going to happen at this point. But maybe what happens. I mean, if I'm gonna just, if I just like keep myself happy, like, maybe they all get a king/queen type of evolution. But maybe down the line, there still is a rook evolution for Pawniard and a knight evolution for Pawniard that do get a third evolution. I mean, that seems kind of ridiculous.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Pawniard evolves into Bisharp, which evolves into a rook or a knight. But then they'll make a evolution later on where Pawniard evolves into a rook that evolves into a king or a queen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could do that.
Definitely possible.
It's a simple.
What if it's serving one of the side legendaries that's a king or a queen, like Pokemon?
Interesting. I like that. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It just popped into my head. Like if it becomes a knight, then it has to serve something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point. And also, like, I think, yeah.
I was gonna say knight fits like the samurai.
It does. Yeah. Like, I feel like bishop and a knight, like the bishop and the knight, those are really, really offensive. The bishop attacks diagonally, and I've always seen the rook more defensive. So I could see the split evolution happening from Poniard, where you have bishop and then knight, when those are both offensive, and then you got rook, and then maybe king queen split, and then those are more like defensive because you're constantly trying to defend the king.
Yeah, I do think it'd be cool if Poniard had been the one to evolve, because like you said, Dusty, it's, the pawn that changes.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, again, like I kind of think from like a competitive standpoint, and B Sharp needed some love. I mean, it's really good, but it's a dark steel type, which makes it quad weak to one of the most common types in the metagame. It's weak to ground, it's weak to fire, both very common types in the metagame. So, I mean, it needed a little love, a little bit of a stat boost.
And it's got one of the best shinies in the game.
Yes. It does.
That, like,
oh my gosh,
blue.
I didn't even think about the shiny
deep blue. It's like it's so good.
Yes.
But okay, so I feel like these three are confirmed. What about regional whooper? Is that confirmed?
Confirmed. Yeah.
So there's going to be a regional whooper and then an evolution which we don't know about.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be Quagsire.
It's not. Kaka said that's a poison whooper that evolves
beautiful.
into something new.
Sick. That's so sick. I mean, we've known about this one for months now. The big news, I think it's news this week. Apparently, there's going to be 3 different evolutions of Tauros, or forms of Tauros. There's going to be 3 forms of Tauros.
Paldean Tauros, yeah.
Is that? I mean, that's kind of what we're thinking about on Twitter, but that kind of blows my mind. I do kind of love.
How are you feeling?
Dude, I love Tauros. This is oh man, I'm so happy. Tauros and Primeape are both, in my opinion, like 2 of the most underrated Gen 1 Pokemon. And Tauros is getting 3 forms, Primeape's evolving. This is already my favorite game.
That's crazy that Tauros would get 3 different forms. I don't even get why. I mean, it's Spanish.
But in a way, it's like when we heard that there's only 2 regional forms, it's like, okay, well, at least they're making up for it a little bit here.
Right.
I don't. The reason why is just different, like, breeds of bulls in Spain.
Yeah.
Like what they do in Spain with bullfighting is huge.
Yeah. So what I thought at first when I saw that there were 3 different quote unquote regional forms of Tauros, the first thing I thought of was the 3 different Pokedex and regions of the Kalos region. So I'm thinking, what if this region is also split up into 3 parts, and then you essentially have 3 different regional forms of the Tauros? But I guess it would make sense if like historically in real life, like they breed all these different types.
No, but what you said is very like could happen. It very much could happen. Like it could be split up into sections. Maybe not like
since Gen 4 even.
Yeah, maybe not like not accessible sections, because you can go anywhere.
Choreo vibes from Gen 7.
Yeah.
Those are split up into the islands, and they were all different.
Yeah, they are. Like the different flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder how, because traditionally, if I take an Alolan Vulpix, or if I take a Cantonian Vulpix and I breed it in Alola, it will still hatch into an Alolan Vulpix. So I'm wondering, if I take a Cantonian Tauros to Paldea and I breed it, which Paldean Tauros is it hatching into?
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for them to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even think breeding is going to be in the game, right?
Well,
we know it is. I just think that was a mistranslation.
Okay.
Yeah, the daycare won't be in the game. He said we get eggs through this new feature called Picnic, where we can wash our Pokemon. So it sounds like Picnic is the camping, refresh, and me of the game.
Yeah.
And probably it'll be a thing of like, in Picnic, you can put 2 Pokemon in a certain box and it breeds from there instead of a daycare. Because, again, a big thing that Pokemon's going for with this whole open world thing is convenience. Think about the Pokemon centers, how they're wide open now. You don't walk inside a building to heal and buy items. You just kind of ride up to it. And that's the thing here is this getting rid of the daycare system and basically essentially allowing you to breed from your PC, because that's essentially what this would be.
Sure.
That just, it's a convenience thing.
I love, dude. It's so weird seeing 3 Tauros on this list.
I know. I love it.
It's real, and it's like, it's not even an offensive Pokemon. Like if this was Diglett, I'd be pissed. If this was Jigglypuff, yeah, no, I wouldn't even mind him. I would not mind Meowth because it's a cat. There's different breeds of cat, but
it's Charizard.
That would make me mad. That'd be weird. Actually, we got that in Gen 6.
I was gonna say we kind of have all of those, like Meowth, Diglett, and Charizard at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
But like all at once is so strange. But I guess I'm hoping it's purposeful, and I'm hoping that they look different enough. Like apparently one's gonna be fighting type. What type? I don't know. Do you think the other ones could have? Like, what are you guys thinking for types on these?
We know
one
they're
might be
dual
electric
type.
and one might be dark.
Electric?
We know they're dual typed.
We also know one more thing about it. I know this is when Lumi wasn't paying his attention as much because he stopped following Kaka, but well, he was almost done at that point. So this last thing that he said with these Tauros, he gave us a chart of the types. Now I'm gonna have to pull it up and put it in here because it's too hard to explain.
Oh, I think I have that. The one where he crossed out like the typings.
Yeah.
No, I saw that. I don't have it anymore.
Here, I have it right here. So here, it's not turned. That's dumb. Let's see what happens. You might have to turn your phone or whatever to look at it.
Just send it.
It's downloading from my Google. I have such a terrible connection right now.
That's all right.
Anyway, to like say what he said, basically it's just like a picture of all of the types, and he crossed out the ones that it can't be.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that when that pops up. So that's already amazing. I mean, you guys know how this works. We already have those evolutions of previous Pokemon. We have regional forms, and now the really spicy part where we have these paradox Pokemon that are either going to be in Scarlet and be representative of what these Pokemon looked like in the past, or they're going to be in Violet version, and they're going to be representative of what these Pokemon will look like in the future. The first batch is from Scarlet. This is the past. How would you guys call this? Past form paradox? Or past paradox Pokemon?
Called paradox Pokemon, yeah.
I would just address them all as paradox. Yeah. To be honest.
So
we just say past and future, honestly.
Okay, so we have these past Pokemon. We have past Amoonguss, past Jigglypuff, past Misdreavus, past Volcarona, which might also have a future form, and then there's going to be a past Pokemon of a Gen 2 Pokemon, and then there's also I think what we're leaning towards is either Salamence or Tyranitar having a past or future form. Those are kind of up in the air. And then there's I guess there's also Delibird, a future Delibird and a future Gallade.
Yeah, so future Gallade has elements of Gardevoir in its design too, which I think is so freaking cool.
Yeah, I would even argue that it's not a future Gallade and it might be like a future Gardevoir, because Ku always said it was a waifu. Like this is the waifu Ku was talking about for the long time.
That has male genitalia.
Yeah, that has the male parts.
Yeah,
so the male parts are Gallade. So it's like, that's what he was saying. It's a waifu that has Gallade parts.
Yeah, they tried to retcon Gardevoir, but Gardevoir was always a 50-50 regular Pokemon, like 50-50 gender split Pokemon. Right. It was always the same thing. It was never just the female version of Gallade is the split Evo. Gallade's the extra, the cross-gen like bonus Pokemon.
That one's male only, but Gardevoir isn't.
Yeah, so I mean, and Gardevoir I think is based on a prince. It's just like a young royalty.
It's even called in Japanese Sir Knight.
Exactly.
Which are both, very male terms, Sir and Knight.
I think it's just gonna be a Gardevoir that's not wearing a dress essentially.
Yeah.
I think that's all it's gonna look like. I like the idea of it being
Rule 34 artist gonna hop on that, Dusty. Careful.
Yeah. They'll probably do it with the future form Delibird as well.
Oh God. We're also missing one on this list that I realized after he had posted it. But
which one is that?
There's a future Hariyama as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
That one feels really good because I feel like Hariyama, I've never quite. I mean, I don't think it's been appreciated the same way. What is it called? Not Hitmon. Machamp?
Machamp? Yeah.
No. Medicham. It's never been appreciated the same way as that third Gen 3 counterpart. But I feel like it's also just like such a weird design.
It's so weird though.
It is so weird.
Makuhita. I love it. I love Makuhita. Like it's cute. It's not like too manly, and then it evolves into this fat man. Like if you look at that thing,
it's not even the fat man. Like I'm a fat man, but like it's like
it
like almost doesn't have a face.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what it is for me.
I don't like the ears. It's the ears for me. The ears.
Yeah, based off the sumo wrestler type thing. Like they're both based off two specific fighting styles.
Yeah, it is a sumo wrestler. If it doesn't have the ears in a future form, it's golden. Like I'm good. Put some robot helmet on top of it, and
we need to get Subarashi on this.
Yeah.
Do you think he's capable of removing the ears from the regular design?
Yes. I think most people are.
Yeah.
We'll have it redesigned in 4 minutes.
Yeah, he's got so much material off of this stuff. Like we could go for months on all this.
Yeah.
Which I probably might.
Because you guys told me that these paradox forms are basically essentially filling in for the lack of side legendaries that we have.
That's true, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
These are our
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the Ultra Beast legendaries, but not legendaries type things.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I'm just thinking about it right now. Like, there really aren't that many legendary Pokemon in Europe. Like all these European regions, there's like the main legendaries, and then apparently there's gonna be a quartet. But like,
I would say the only region that went crazy with legendaries was Gen 8.
Really?
That went crazy with it. Wait, there's no legendary Pokemon in Gen 8.
Yeah,
there's in DLC like Urshifu, Calyrex, Glass.
But those are
horses.
Yeah, but all of those Pokemon actually, you got it on the horses and Calyrex do reside there, but they're kind of like low stakes legendary. And then like I feel like the legendary birds, those are not native to Europe. And then the
Reggies.
The Reggies, I guess you could say those are native. I would think those are like kind of an add-on. That's actually a good point.
When you compare that to Gen 6 only had the 3 titles and then mythicals that weren't even in the region. Like, I think when it came to Gen 6, the only mythical Pokemon you actually got in X and Y was Diancie. What sucks about that is that Volcanion was hinted residing in Route 4 because there are NPCs and Luminos they kept talking about how they saw a volcanic Pokemon walking around the mountains of Route 4. I think it was Route 4, the desert route with the power plant. Yeah. But they completely retconned that, and it just became a mystery gift you got in Oraz.
Yeah, seriously. I guess I'm just thinking, like, in contrast to the I'm sorry.
I was just saying XY, like, they really screwed up with that because, like he said, there was clearly, like, a scrap Volcarona plot, and those locked power plants, and then Diancie's Mega was locked to Oris. Hoopa's form was locked to Oris. Ugh, it was so bad.
We could go on forever about Gen 6. Like, I was going to say, like, and that's why Gen 6 isn't great. Because it's, like, a few legendaries.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Gen 6 had side legendary, because it relied a lot on the Gen 1 legendaries to fill in for the lack of actual low-stakes legends. Like, Gen 5 and 4 went crazy with the amount of locations and legendaries. But then we made it to Gen 6, and it was like, oh, you want post-game legends? Well, there's Mewtwo. And there's roaming birds that only appear depending on your starter.
Yeah, I think what happened with Gen 6, it was like, I mean, this is a whole different topic, but I think what happened with Gen 6 was like, after all the legendaries and cramming all this content into Gen 5, they were probably doing what happened with Sword and Shield and just cramming to make these first 3D games on the 3DS. And they were just like, we got to cut corners, get rid of the legendaries, less Pokemon, blah blah blah. And I think they were just like, let's lean on into what we've already created and just kind of recycle that. That's kind of how I felt about it all. But anyways, I'm looking forward to This is gonna be a fun podcast when there's no leaks to cover.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is already better than Gen 8 and 6 because we have title legendaries and we have already a quartet to work with, along with these paradox mons. Which, if these are legendaries, essentially, the post game decks is already huge with the amount of stuff we're gonna do after the champions, like the champion fight.
I kind of dislike though that they're like probably post game, the whole paradox thing. I'm like, why so late?
I mean, they're catchable like Ultra Beasts. That's how it's gonna work.
Yep.
On that note, there is one that like this hasn't been confirmed by anybody, but I think there's a very large case for a future Murkrow.
I thought that was debunked.
Well, no, a Murkrow evolution was debunked, but I think Murkrow's evolution being debunked proves there's a future Murkrow. And what I mean by that is Kaka is reading off of, we know this from Ku, Kaka is reading like data files. Because when Kaka said coin and fairy, Ku said, oh, he's just reading the data files. The fairy is the Hammermon. That's when Ku confirmed that. And the way the data files work is like... Choodle will be in there as Turtle 1, and Dreadnought will be in there as Turtle 2. So I think he saw Murkrow 2, and Murkrow 3, and assumed Murkrow evolution, but it was really a future form of Murkrow.
But I thought, so how, I mean, you guys tell me, how does that work? Because I thought these were going to be completely new Pokemon with new names and new dex entries. Or is that...
They are. It's just wrong. We can't like put it into terms. Like there's no way for us to put it into our own understandable terms without like having names for them. Like we could create names ourselves, but basically like the way for us to have a grid or reference it is we're just like, it's Murkrow, but it's like a form of Murkrow, but it's not. It's not Murkrow. It's not a form of Murkrow. It's nothing like that. It's just the same design.
Right. I could be completely wrong, too. Another reason I think it, though, is because one of the past forms is Mischievous, and Mischievous and Murkrow are Pokemon that have always kind of been paired up together. You know, they're very exclusive. They got Mismagius and Honchkrow together. So Mischievous feels really random here, and then combined with the whole Murkrow mistake he made, this would kind of be a easy explainer for that.
Dude, now you got me, man. Now you got me. So I got you with the Icicle Bat, and you got me with the future form Murkrow. So if it's true or not true, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, I'm just super excited for these, especially when it comes to like, I'm still confused on how future forms will work, but when I think of past forms, I'm thinking of like the origin of the species, like. For example, this Volcarona past form is going to be the origin. It's not going to be Volcarona, but it's going to be the Pokemon that eventually became Volcarona as time progressed.
We're probably going to capture these. There's probably going to be a mini game like going through these Ultra wormholes in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where you're like traveling through space and time. In this game, it's probably going to be like you're just going through a time tunnel with the legendary, and then you... I mean, I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but you're going to just encounter these Pokemon, or maybe they just appear in the... No, what's probably going to happen is there's going to be like anomalies, like swarm Pokemon, where they just are appearing, and then you like check something and it says like, go to this route, there's going to be a Pokemon, and it's just like a single encounter of these Paradox Pokemon. And I don't think they're going to be explained at all. It's just going to be like...
You actually know where you'll get them.
Oh, tell me.
Kaka said there are... First off, you can get as many as you want. So, like with Ultra Beast, they limited it to like 1 or 2 or 3, depending on the Ultra Beast. Bro. But Kaka said that you get infinite of these. You can catch as many as you want. They're found in the in-game area. So, like, wherever the final battle is, where, you know, we'll fight the villain, get Koraidon, Miraidon, that, like, probably what happens is, like, a time portal opens up there, and these Pokemon start flooding out, and so you can go back there anytime and get these time Pokemon.
That's cool. You keep going back, and, there's like, oh, this one's here now. This one's here now. That's cool.
I don't know if you guys saw my theory on it, but basically a good way to put this whole thing is Koraidon and Miraidon are these Pokemon. Like they are what is it?
Yes.
Paradox.
100%.
I
are
thought that was
Paradox.
confirmed. Or did you?
No, it's not
What?
confirmed. It's
I thought
just
that was
that is
confirmed.
what it is. Nope.
That's been okay.
Like no one said it. It's just obvious, right? Like
Yeah.
DLC will be the present form.
Yeah.
It has to be because the lack of a third legendary is very concerning. We haven't
Yeah.
had that since Gen 2.
Which, by the way, Ku did also confirm that there are Paradox Pokemon based off of past gen legendaries.
yeah,
he said
did.
he's seen the designs. He's just saving it for the. They're saving it for the DLC.
I can't wait because you know what that means.
Bro,
That
are you
means that we're gonna
serious?
get Entei, Raikou, Suicune Paradox.
Yo,
Yeah.
Hear me out. Look. Hear me out.
that's so exciting.
DLC do past form of in Scarlet, past form of Latias, and it takes inspiration from both designs. You make it like an old biplane. Violet version, it's a future form of Latios. Again, inspiration from both designs. It's a futuristic jet. It'd be perfect.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
That's so.
Dusty,
that
don't-
is so cool.
I'm tweeting about this tonight, so
All right, do you want me to retweet?
I'm just excited
no,
to
I'm
see
just
it.
like Dusty's about to post the same exact thing, which is
Yeah. I'll wait. Yeah.
I've
Telling
had
you
the
right
idea
now.
forever about the legendary beast. Like I'm gonna go in depth with it, but it just makes sense. Like
No, that's
the-
so cool. That is,
Also,
legendary
just for what it's worth,
I guess I
Latios
just-
and Latias are known as the Eon Pokemon.
yeah, they are. Yeah, which is like what, like a measurement of
1,000
time.
years.
Yeah,
No, that's millennia.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell me that isn't perfect.
yeah, we'll
That's so
see.
sick.
I mean, they did it for Oras though too. So
And they're
I don't know.
traveling creatures. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
that's so sick, dude. And in like in DLC now, it's like you can. Before you were just riding on Koraidon, but now you can ride on Latias
Probably
Yeah, I
whatever
could
the
definitely see something
middle
like that.
stage is. The
because
like
they just fly over
perfect.
everything.
Yeah.
Bro, that is so exciting. Yo,
Yeah, the
so
DLC is
Yeah.
gonna be fun. Like thinking about it and all that.
Oh yeah.
I guess I just
hope
didn't
DLC
realize that
already
like
more
these
exciting.
Riddlers had information but weren't sharing it. Like they were like, "Oh, this is DLC, but you don't know about it yet." I didn't realize they had
what's
that
his
info.
face doesn't. Kaka doesn't. Ku does
Yeah.
for sure. Kaka.
Kaka does because
even
he
know
has
the full
files
game.
of what's in the game.
Dude, you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? When Ku said this week, he's like, forget about them. We still have Gen 11, right? That
Yeah.
was insane, dude.
Yeah.
I swear I thought I was like on the Dusty channel talking about Gen 12. Dude, that's so exciting. The fact
Yeah.
that that's actually like in the works right now.
Right.
Who is Ku? Dude?
Totally.
Is it Masuda?
What's a team? We know
Oh,
that
Is it
now.
Masuda?
I am cool. I said it
Now,
every.
no.
I said it every stream in the chat. I'm cool.
That's true. Fuck. Yo, I'm sorry, Ku. I'm sorry. I'm Kutendo.
Yeah, Nintendo, Riddler Cam.
Riddler Cam. Oh my
Continue.
god. Oh my god. Yo,
Any-
okay. We're not
Anything
even
else on these guys though before you move on?
I
know
don't
if
know.
you're
I mean, I feel like it's like we know about the Pokemon, but we don't. I mean, I don't know. Like it's interesting, and there's so many amazing artists who have made like really cool concepts for these Pokemon already with the Proto and Neo forms. I don't know what I almost have my like expectations low because part of me
That's kind
feels
of
like
good though.
what is it?
That's good though that you have them low.
Yeah, because I feel like they're not even going to be that different. Like, even with regional forms, we expect them to fix certain Pokemon or, like, do something. But they're really just, like, they're a different interpretation of the same Pokemon.
Yeah,
I don't
guess-
think it's going to be that
That's
wild.
Example.
think
I'm the
the-
same because I don't know about you guys, but I am obsessed with catching the legendaries and stuff, and if these are taking the place of legendaries, most of them at least, and if they don't change that much,
Yeah.
Right.
kind of gonna be rubbed the wrong way because we could have gotten like a new legendary trio or something, but we're gonna get
Yeah.
these past forms or future forms that don't look that different, but have a different dex entry and name.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's cool.
that's-
I think it's
I mean,
going to give, like, a lot of
unfortunately, the
lore and
two we've
explanation of these
seen-
Pokemon.
Yeah, unfortunately, the
Jesse?
two we've seen don't have much difference. The Amoonguss and the Jigglypuff. I mean,
I mean,
Yeah.
the
Don't look that
Jigglypuff
different.
we haven't really seen. I was
That's
gonna say
true.
that though too is like the best way to look at it, Cam, is like what we have already. So Amoonguss, right? When I first saw it, I'm like, that's a regional form of Amoonguss.
Right.
That's
and,
what I thought.
Yeah, and then you have Koraidon and Miraidon. So like how they look like how similar they look is kind of how they will all look. Like even its present form is gonna look like them. You know what I mean?
See, no, I would say like Koraidon and Miraidon, they're two examples of the other end of the spectrum. Most of these Pokemon are starting from true neutral, right? And they're just going in one direction. It's not like it's because Koraidon and Miraidon are so different. I mean, they look similar, but they're really different.
They're also the box mascot legendaries, so they're gonna be like
a little extra.
They have to look different.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little extra. But I'm still very, very excited about this. Even if the changes aren't crazy, like
it's a cool concept.
There's gonna be changes enough, and whole new concepts to the designs. Like I said, Amoonguss I think is supposed to be a samurai. Amoonguss was never samurai before. You know, it looks pretty cool. Like I like it way better than normal Amoonguss.
I do too, because it looks natural.
Yeah,
you know,
they're gonna be upgraded.
Before, if I remember correctly, back in Gen 5, there were all references to Gen 1 mons. I think they're going back and they're giving these gimmick Gen 1 copycats, like, they're giving them actual purposes now to make them more unique from their original counterparts.
Yeah.
Because Amoonguss was supposed to be a Electrode and Voltorb reference, and now it's going to be something else completely.
Interesting. And I love that's cool. Yeah, Mischievous was just like another ghost. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. You know, I think we all have a pretty good grasp on what the past forms could be, but it's the future forms that are really kind of stressing me out, because I'm like, are they really? I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but like, are they really just gonna make them all metallic? Are they just gonna make them like standard fantasy or sci-fi tropes where they're like cyborgs, right? Like, because how else do you showcase? Yeah, or are they gonna do what some mega designs have done and really like exaggerate certain features?
Well, so this is what I was talking about to Ruffled last week. Like, I was like, when Koo saw them, he thought they were megas, because I think that's like the extent of how much they're going to change. You know, So for the future ones, I can see them mostly being like robotic and metallic, that kind of artificial vibes.
Yeah.
But it'll still be really cool. Like, it's going to be added on to the original designs. You know.
Yeah.
It really depends what you like. Like, I'm all about like a freaking robot version of even something like I don't like Delibird. I don't care about Delibird at all, but I want to see like a robot Santa.
Yeah, that'd be
wow. See, when I think of Volcarona, my mind goes to Mothra from Godzilla.
True.
Like a past one specifically, like I think of Mothra.
Dude, Gallade's gonna be sick. I'm sorry, I know it's Gardevoir, but like that, if it's like a robotic, if it's like psychic steel, that's like that's automatically a counterpart to the new Bisharp evolution.
Well, so that's something else we have to talk about, which is a thing that I don't think is true, but some of it is true. I think in some ways, which is that the types aren't going to change. That's what Kaka said. He said,
"Sure,
the types for these Pokemon are not going to change." At least he said for Jigglypuff, and so like I think, like okay, I can see Jigglypuff staying. What is it? Just a fairy? Is it fairy normal?
Type? Yeah.
Yeah. I can totally see it being fairy normal, like just staying that and being a past form of it, and it getting like crazy stats and an ability that's broken.
And that would help clarify. Also, you can finish. I haven't.
Yeah, no. I was just saying that he said that all of them do, but we know from Koo that Volcarona doesn't.
So Volcarona gets a new type?
Yeah, he said when he revealed Volcarona, he was like a bug type, a Gen 5 bug type gets a future form. But it's not a bug type anymore. He's like, I'm laughing. Yeah, he was laughing because it wasn't a bug type anymore.
That's interesting. So what I was like, my thought process was that like, because I mean, it's confusing for us, right? It's going to be confusing for most general like players. All these different forms and categories of Pokemon, you would think they'd want to like so far like. Evolutions are just like a progression. Regional forms are like a type swap. And then these Pokemon really should be like visually different, but maybe stay consistent because they're the same Pokemon. They should keep the same type. That's what I would think. But you're saying it's different. Maybe there just are some exceptions.
I think it's going to be like Megas.
Okay.
Like where a lot of Megas kept some of the same types and then some didn't. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like there's a
Yeah.
lot that kept the same types, and then some gained another type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weird.
Some even lost the type. Aggron lost his rock type.
Yeah, that's true.
And Volcarona is going to lose its bug type.
So that's the other thing, right, Soul? Like, that's the other thing. Like, these don't evolve as well. They just are what they are, right?
No, yeah, they don't.
They do not evolve. Okay.
Yeah. Which
so
just
Among Us is just Among Us. Jigglypuff never evolves.
Again, I wasn't a fan of that, but then when you guys told me that these are like the post game thing, like legendaries things, I was like, oh, okay, I'm fine with that. I'm over it.
I think it kind of makes sense, and it takes out a lot of confusion with like, because like the regionals are already like, it's like what the heck? It's like if a Alolan Vulpix in another region is something else.
Yeah.
Like a Alolan Meowth in Galar evolves into the Galarian or breeds. Like it's so confusing.
Another thing with that is Ku did say that maybe they'll evolve in the future. So I wouldn't get too caught up on it. I mean, in this game, no. But he's saying like Pokemon do crazy things.
So
and he was like, so Gen 11. But I could see like this Jigglypuff evolving into like some kind of crazy Wigglytuff or a whole new Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a whole new legendary.
I think there's a good explainer for that too. Like you figure, and this also explains why like there's a future Volcarona, but not a future Larvesta. It's a whole thing of these are Pokemon from, in the context of this game, these are Pokemon that came from the like ancient past or the extremely distant future. They may evolve. We just don't know how to evolve them. They may,
true.
be able to breed. We just don't know how. Like with legendaries, they actually don't say they can't breed. It says like egg group unknown.
Yeah, I've been trying to like. My friend and I, we had a pen and a pad of paper, and we were trying to like draw a diagram on how like evolution works in the Pokemon universe versus how it works in the real world, right? And it's like if these Pokemon are taken from the past, it's like what you're saying, Lumi. It's like we don't know how to evolve them, but also like they probably don't evolve from, like Volcarona probably doesn't evolve from its previous form, or Gardevoir doesn't evolve from Ralts. It's probably like another creature entirely.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like there's no future equivalent to Larvesta, only a future equivalent to Volcarona.
Yeah, it could be something. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying what you just said, but I'm just trying to. It's all really confusing. I'm just trying.
It is.
I'm just trying to think it out.
And that's the thing too. Like Dusty, you and I were talking about this before. When we were like on call earlier, just talking like this stuff is so confusing because you have 50 different people reporting 50 different things. We don't have official news on them, so we're giving them like our fan terms. Like people have called these Paradox Pokemon, people have called them Eon Pokemon, people have called them past forms and future forms, and then that's a whole nother bag of worms. Is calling them forms is inaccurate because they're new Pokemon, even though they're the equivalent to like a present day Pokemon. It's just so confusing. And then you throw in the R fake stuff into it and how those are new Pokemon, not forms. It's so confusing.
Yeah, if the R fakes didn't come out at the same time, I feel like people would have had a better idea. Yeah, but like it was at the same time, so people are just like, wait, is that this or not or what?
Yeah.
Right.
And they're all separate Pokemon. Like, yeah, the idea is just to throw the word forms into the garbage can. Like, there are no forms. The only forms, I try to do it in the tweet. I'm like, the only forms that we're getting in this game are like
regional variants.
Yeah, our regional
and 3 Tauros.
Yeah, regional variants and like just the normal gimmick form like Dynamax. Like that's all we're getting.
Right. And to be honest,
honestly, that makes sense. That makes it easier to understand.
Yeah. They're separate Pokemon.
They're not forms. A form is the same thing, but it presents different, like it looks different.
Also, Ku said to not take our fake seriously as like a new form or something. They're just Pokemon that look like old Pokemon. They're not like something.
He said they wouldn't even have a classification.
I bet they were like, yo,
they're just memes.
Yeah, that really is what it is. So it's not even Diglett. It's like, because like
Wiglet.
They were, they were probably like, we love, or they were like fans love the meme Pokemon, or fans love these like goofy versions. But then it's like you can only go so far with that because at some point it's like when they made Galarian Weezing, I'm like, you didn't fix Weezing. It's like I think it's actually worse than regular Weezing. in my mind. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking like, don't even make it a form. Just make a new Pokemon with the stupid little Diglett face, and it's gonna be like, it's just like, it's an in joke. If you know, you know. Like mine, like, oh, that's actually kind of cool, because it's essentially the same thing.
Well, like Diglett being a Gardevoir, like this.
I love the
regional
idea,
fate, if you will, of Diglett being a Gardevoir. That's so exciting. I love that.
And that's gonna be so funny.
It really
like,
is.
I can imagine it having like, you know how eels have like those big beady eyes. I can imagine that like to the side, and you see like Diglett's face on like a fake Diglett face on the head, and it's like sticking up. You can just I don't know, like it's fun to imagine just an eel with like Diglett's
pink,
face on the
that.
side.
Yeah, it makes me like wish that they would almost retcon regional forms. I mean, regional forms make sense, but I almost think like it would be cleaner if instead of Alolan Vulpix we had like Snowplex or whatever, right? Just make it a different Pokemon.
Yeah.
It kind of evolves the same way, where it's like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess, yeah.
Here's the big thing about it is like, Pokemon has always been this way. They're just showing us how they think, basically, because we always put them as forms, but in their minds, every new design is like a new number to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a Alolan Vulpix has always been a whole separate thing than normal Vulpix. It's always been, that's a new design. Alolan Ninetales is a new design. And now we actually just have numbers to them. Like, you know, it's kind of like
that's actually the whole reason that Kalos didn't have a lot of Pokemon, is because in their heads they were counting Mega Charizard X, new Pokemon, Mega Charizard Y, new Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
So like in actuality, Kalos did have over 100 designs.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, yeah, and I think this is why it bothered me that when people be like, "Oh, I can't." Like, are we gonna reach 1,000? They would never reach 1,000.
We've been at 1,000 for a hot minute.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, yeah, people will be like, "Oh, that's why they're making regional forms so they don't pass 1,000." And I'm like, what happens if we hit 1,000? Nothing. It's not like
it blows up.
Yeah, it's not.
It's nothing.
They're acting like it's the Y2K like bug or something. I'm like, nothing's gonna happen when they hit 1,000. They already have.
Y2K.
Even when Digimon hit 1,000 mons, they didn't care. They just continued. You get like 6 new Digimon a year.
Number 1,000, was it anything special?
No. This isn't going to be either, I don't think.
Right, yeah, Kaka said it wouldn't be anything special.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a while, but there are people who like have insisted like, no, number 1,000 will be a legendary, a mythical, or the starter of Gen 10. That's like, no, it won't. Don't care. They didn't do it with 500. They didn't do it with, and people say, well, they couldn't have done it with 500 because that was Embor. They were in the middle of the starters. They could have when they were making Gen 4. They could have made some cuts or made some additions.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
The same thing goes for just Voltorb, which is number 100. You know, like it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Special because it's based off a Pokeball, which is the symbol of the franchise.
Is that why they did that? I didn't even think of that.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, that's just.
It's kind of cute. Okay, so Diglett, and are we gonna have the same conversation 3 weeks in a row? So we're the next regional fake's gonna be Dragonite, right?
I really hope so. But
we're gonna go on that hill.
I would. The conversation I'd rather have is, I just wish that they would have made more of these. I'm actually excited about these, and I hope that there's more than what we're thinking. Because
I thought there are more than just these. We're just getting what we were told.
I'm almost.
Who said there wasn't much?
Yeah, Ku has said multiple times that there's only a few, and I'm almost like thinking that these two right here are the only ones. But you have to think about this: that Diglett evolves. It's not like the other one. So the regional fake Diglett evolves into a regional fake Dugtrio. Even Kaka himself. And I told them to put this on the list, but they didn't. That Dugtrio is what Kaka referred to the whole time. He was like, it's a water type Dugtrio.
Yeah.
And so Diglett is from Ku and Dugtrio is from Kaka. It evolves into a Dugtrio.
Right, because it's like, a new Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a new Pokemon. So it's not a legendary, it's not anything. Right. It's Wiglet, and it evolves into a Wig Trio. Which is funny because that's the Alolan version is Wig Trio.
You know what I'm expecting when I think of the eel?
What?
You guys, so you know what I'm expecting when I think of this eel?
What?
You guys ever played like in those like the eels you see in the water levels? I'm expecting that, but on its back, it's like a Diglett face. But
Yeah.
like it's very obvious that it's not. But like some people fall for it.
Yeah, like the eel from Mario and the underwater worlds in
Yeah,
that thing gives me
those.
nightmares. The one from Odyssey gives me nightmares.
Yeah,
Oh no,
but
not
it's just
the
like
the
instead
one
of a
from
giant
Odyssey.
mouth,
Terrifying.
it's just like Diglett's face.
I need
So-
images because I'm thinking of like literally Super Mario
Just
on the Nintendo system.
Okay, so earlier Lumios was talking about like Gens 10, 11, right? Soul, you said that the Gen 10 game's going to be like kind of wild and it might be 4 years away. What if they treat this open world game like most other open world games where there's like DLC patches but also like I'm thinking of, I don't know, like what if like a year from now we get the regular DLC, it's like a map, it's traditional, it's what we saw with Sword and Shield, but then a year later they actually give us a couple more regional forms or a couple more regional fakes. Like what if they just kind of like start piecemealing us?
Oh, totally.
Because 40 years is a really long time. You can't just like give us one DLC and then drop the game.
Totally.
I mean, I guess they could do that, but
dude, that's not what's going to happen at all. What's going to happen is there's going to be a game every single year until the Gen 4. Like Pokemon have adopted this whole thing where they want to release a game every year, whether
so
it
you
be
don't
like
think there's going to be a DLC?
No, there will. That I'm counting that.
That's
I'm
very
counting
legendary
that
niche
in.
representation.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, but actually, what you just gave me a great idea for is, what if they literally do DLC 2 years in a row? Like,
that's
you know
what I'm
how
saying.
like, you know how like games like
it's an open world game. You'd want, like there's enough content there.
Totally. Even Zelda did 2 separate DLC.
Zelda had 2 expansion passes.
Yeah. It was within the span of a long time too. So like I could see them doing, I know they're probably going to do 2 anyway next year, but then like maybe the year after they do even more. Like that's not a bad idea just to expand it.
That.
I would love it too.
Well, like, and Sword and Shield felt so stale because they didn't do that. Like, mean, we still now in Sword
it
and
felt
Shield,
lazy because it was just like they just dropped it. They were like, "Here you go. Now it's done."
We have less mons on Sword and Shield now than we did in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that's I get you can't put all the Pokemon. I'm not remotely asking to put all the Pokemon, but why does my Switch game have less Pokemon than after 2 DLCs have less Pokemon than my 3DS game?
So maybe I'm misguided, but I am looking at the limitation of the limited amount of legendaries and these regional fakes. And to some extent, even these, I mean, there are a lot of Paradox Pokemon, but they don't evolve. And I'm looking at these and I'm saying like, okay, well, if there's only 2, then maybe they have 5 more that they're going to piecemeal us down the line. That's
don't forget there's no mythicals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
those are not either.
100%.
No, I can totally see it. Like, we're getting DLC next year, like no doubt. So in that, just like how we got what we got in Sword and Shield, like we're definitely going to get more regional form, maybe not regional form, but regional fakes or these Paradox forms for sure. Like that, I have no doubt about.
Yeah.
As even Ku said, the legendaries. So
sick.
Yeah, they're definitely going to do that. There's no doubt. I hope more fakes, because the whole point of what I was talking about originally was I really like the concept of like even all the ideas the fans have been coming up with are just so good. Like the grass thing that you were talking about, Dusty. Like just a Krabby that becomes a crabgrass. Like we need more of that kind of thing for this feature that we have now.
Yeah. In some ways, I'm like, they're testing the waters, but I think at this point they are like the waters have been tested with regional forms. They understand this is what people want. Regional forms have been around for a really long time.
I almost think the opposite though with regional forms. Like I think this whole thing that they're doing is to kind of go away from regional forms in a way, at least for a time.
Yeah, so they don't need to make every single new form a regional form. Because because it's like to me, I'm like, the regional forms are almost more exciting than the Pokemon because they're nostalgic. It's like a sequel, right? It's like, I like this thing, so this thing's going to be just as good.
It's a reboot without rebooting the Pokemon.
I think when it came to the Paradox, when it comes to the Paradox forms, I think they're like, we want to do something similar like Ultra Beast, but we don't want to do Ultra Beast. We want to do something similar to regional forms. We don't want regional forms. or like we're running still on regional formats. We want to do something similar to Ultra Beast. Let's just take some designs, make them legendaries or something like that, and make them post game or near end game.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so here's another can of worms. Maybe this is a Gen 11 thing. Remember when Poipole came out and they said where Poipole comes from, it's a starter Pokemon?
Right.
Dude, there's like a whole universe. There's so many more Ultra Beasts that they could give us. Anyways.
Yeah, infinite amount.
And like they've played around with doing different starters before. Like Gym 4, the initial plan was to do a Psychic Fighting Dark trio.
Is that confirmed?
I've heard it so much. I feel like it is, but maybe it's not.
I've also heard of that. Like people are like, that's a cool idea. We should have that. But
that's actually the first I've heard of that.
Right.
I don't know if that's real, but
I've heard it. I've heard it all over the internet. I don't know if it was ever in development, like a concrete thing, but people definitely
like I feel like they never even designed the starters. They just like literally kind of thought it, and then we're like, nah, because technically that's not a balanced trio. Because
you know what you might
Dark
have seen
completely is immune to Psychic.
So back in Gen 4, there were like when leaks happened or like fake leaks happened, they were like believed for months on end. I think there's actually sprite art of what the starters were going to be for Gen 4. I think I'm going to try to find that. It might be on
there are.
It might be on the Cerebi website.
I mean, I know a lot of like I was super into like beta stuff before all this happened. So I know a lot of that. I know that I think that they weren't the starters, like the Gen 4 starters. They were just regular Pokemon and then they made them the starters.
True.
I think that
would line up with it being Fire or Fighting Dark Psychic as a starter trio then.
Okay, that's cool.
Right, so what Lumi just sent to us, that's like a beta Torterra. That was always
I've seen that. Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a couple more things on the list. We have Koraidon and Miraidon, which we know about. The quartet of legendary Pokemon, which we have discussed briefly, but then there's also these two pseudo-legendary lions, which is... I love the idea of there being two pseudo-legendaries. That's really
I don't know where that comes
Makes
from.
me happy.
I don't know where that actually comes from. I don't know if...
What comes from?
The fact that there's two separate pseudo-legendary lions.
That is... I think that was confusion coming from Ku saying that there were two pseudos getting Paradox.
Yeah.
I
think that got misconstrued because I have not seen a thing about... I've seen speculation. I have not seen anything concrete suggesting two pseudos in this game. Would I love it? Absolutely, but
yeah, that'd be nice.
I think that's an overlook on our part here because I didn't even realize that they had put two pseudos down. Like,
okay, I'm gonna assume there's at least one.
Yeah, there is.
Could it be one of the Pokemon that we reviewed earlier in the episode?
No.
It could be.
I'm calling it. It's Ice Dragon. I'm calling it. It's Ice Dragon.
The Icicle?
How cool would
It's not the Icicle because that's a 2-stage.
Yeah.
It's going to be just an Ice Dragon.
I
remember last week, Dusty speculated that it was going to be the Dolphin, and it was going to be like a counterpart to Garchomp.
True. I forgot about that, but that just like it was an easy reach on my end.
No, but
we don't really know.
Cool
like that's totally possible. That's totally possible. Either one.
And then, do we have any information about the quartet of legendary Pokemon?
That's all we got.
We know that they have apparently their Japanese names have like Chinese in their names, which would imply they are kind of Chinese based, but I don't know.
I'm sure
that could be how Enamorous was a hint at there being making it a quartet, a Chinese quartet, the Kami trio. Was hinting at there being a Chinese quartet, and
I feel like the quartets have always been really cool. I mean, some of the trios are hit or miss, but
I feel the opposite. But either way,
the Tapus a lot. I like how elemental they are.
Yeah, I like the Tapus.
I'm excited about these though, if they are like that. So that's like you could take 4 mythical or Chinese gods and make them these 4 legendaries, basically. So if you went into like Chinese lore, you could probably find them. Also, I don't know if you guys realized, but Ku never left, and he's posting all kinds of stuff last night, and it was all about. It was all in like Chinese Buddhism stuff. So
I saw a little bit of that.
I would relate it to this almost.
Yeah.
Right.
I know what it's all about, kind of, because I've figured out a lot of it. But at the same time, it's like, are you hinting at these things being Chinese legendaries? So
it would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The last one on here that we missed, I don't know if you guys want to move on or not, or if you want to talk more about those. But that little flower down at the bottom is like a new Pokemon. I know Ruffled was like all about it being a Lilleep. I don't know if you saw my tweet from earlier, but I don't think it's possible to be a Lilleep.
Yeah, I think your tweet hit it. It could be the Saltmon.
It could be the Saltmon.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. It's either the Saltmon or it's its own like crystal flower thing. So I woke up this morning. I was like, guys, we forgot the crystal flower. So I texted them, and that's why it's like there on the bottom.
Could that be the icicle?
I don't think so. I think it looks like more crystally than ice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It looks like
more rock, let's say.
It looks like that Sonic character, the Shadow, or whatever you said earlier.
Oh yeah.
Chaos. But you also have to take into account that this is using the gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So, that's another thing that I was saying in that tweet is I don't know. We really don't have a good grasp, and even Koo said it. He's like, telephone games, like we don't know what's going on with the gimmick. I'm even more confused than I was before. Like I felt like I was more clear on it before Kaka came around.
I thought we cracked it. I mean, I was like, we all thought it was what we discussed for like months, and then I thought it was just gonna be like Z moves with a physical, like a visual change.
Yeah, no, I think it's still what I had been saying for months earlier. I think it's like putting on a third type without any of the disadvantages of a third type.
Cool.
Yeah, and what happens to your character is that little type thing comes up above their head.
Yeah, to represent the type, and then that's the third type that we keep talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if they.
Like
that's
better.
The thing is, like, there's details that we don't really know.
Yeah.
But we will know next week.
So you know what's weird about this?
Yeah.
Oh wow! You know what's weird about this? We know so much about these paradox Pokemon, regional forms with the Tauros and stuff. We know about the regional fakes, the quartet of legendaries. Well, we don't know much about them, but we don't have a third legendary. And as far as we know, the gimmick is the most unexplained plot point so far. Like those two have to be connected. The fact that we have a gimmick that has no ties to a legendary, and the fact that we are missing a third legendary.
We're missing the third legendary because there is none, though. Unfortunately,
right.
Like that's.
I think there is. I think it's going to be DLC.
Well, yeah,
DLC sure.
is possible.
We're not talking base game.
Yeah, we're talking base.
Because my reasoning for this is that they remember in Gen 8 they tied Eternatus into the main plot. They have never done that with the base games of a main series before. It's usually always been a third version that does that, like Platinum, Emerald, Black and White, and stuff like that.
The Savior,
I think that this time around, because they already said that we're no longer getting third games, we're just gonna get DLC. I think that this time around they don't want to repeat Gen 8 with shoehorning the third legendary into the plot, because I'm not gonna lie, Eternatus made no sense. Like it came out of nowhere towards the end of the game, and it kind of threw a like dart into an already like poorly progressed plot.
Yeah, I feel like I knew where like when it happened. I wasn't even surprised, probably because I saw the leak. But
we saw the leak, but like playing through the story of Gen 8, Eternatus was very left field and already unestablished plot. So I think
to make a Gen 6 reference or a connection, I think there's a possibility that the third legendary shows up in DLC the way Zygarde was supposed to show up as DLC, but ended up just being like a post-game fetch quest.
I feel like the DLC. I feel like the DLC. Like I said, I don't think they want to repeat shoehorning the third legendary in. I think that this time they're like, okay, we're gonna make the third legendary DLC, and we can make the plot of the DLC like explore the mysteries of the gimmick or something like that.
Hopefully,
or the origin.
How it's gone in history is very much like that. Like every single third legendary has been in the third version of the game, until Sword and Shield. Like Sword and Shield was the different one. The thing is that you could normally catch them in the base game still, even if they didn't have a plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but remember, this is going to be the third game. They don't want to give you the legendary in the post game because what are you going to do with it? Not that you've already had it. There's no like lore behind it. I feel like in the DLC they want you to explore this third legendary's lore and then make it catchable, similar to how in Diamond and Pearl you can catch Giratina with no background, no history, but in Platinum you got like the reverse world, distortion world, you can catch it. Same with like
so it's not even catchable. That's weird.
Yeah, same with like Rayquaza. You could catch it in Ruby and Sapphire with no background knowledge, no lore. It doesn't get touched upon. Same with Necrozma. But in their respective games, you get a plot behind them and you get to actually catch them. I feel like that's what they're trying to do with the DLC.
Okay. What about the motorcycle Pokemon? Could the mystery motorcycle but rideable Pokemon that we said the antagonist would use? Could that be just a base Pokemon? Could that be a legendary Pokemon? I have no idea.
I mean, it could be. So what I was going to say is it's very possible, like with the theory that I put out, that we do have the present version in the base game. So like, but it could just be like a regular old Pokemon, like just a normal Pokemon. Yeah. And then we could catch it just like that, but we don't know that in the DLC it ends up like, I don't know, having another form that is like a legendary form.
It's unlocked. And then essentially the past and the future. Oh, that's cool. The past and the future is the paradox form of the evolution, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It's just technically the exact formula that Game Freak's always done. It's
I actually love the idea of it being like kind of a useless Pokemon because that and it lines up with Gen 7 with Nebby being such a regular useless Pokemon that evolves into the savior of the game.
Yeah,
I just really want a third legendary.
Yeah, me too, dude. I've won. You see how many theories I put out on it?
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, yo.
I was crushed. I was like, bro, I needed this third legendary to be epic because I love them. I love
third legendaries, especially the fact that they get like a whole second form and stuff like that. Like, I always get more excited for the third legendaries over the title legendaries because it's a secret.
I do have to disagree with you, Cam, on the whole Eternatus thing, though, because I think that it was part of the main plot. Like, maybe the dogs didn't. I feel like the legendary dogs.
The legendaries in general had less to do with the plot because the plot was become champion.
It was more about like the whole Galar experience of
being a civilian.
Yeah, and then randomly this whole Darkest Day thing is happening in the background. But the Darkest Day thing, they did well with it being like it's all one story. Like Eternatus wasn't random; he was causing the whole Dynamax thing. If anything, the dogs are just random that they just come out of nowhere. Like, oh, we got to find these guys. But the story itself just wasn't great. That's the bottom line.
It was the pacing. Yeah, like the story would have been good if the pacing was good, but the story was poor.
Yeah, it's just more like Rose being terrible was just like why makes no sense. Everything makes no sense.
He's an incredible guy.
Rose becoming a villain made zero sense.
Do you guys want to wrap this up? We can talk about when we think we're going to see a new trailer.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think that's coming soon.
Yeah,
it is.
It's got to be, right. It's been 6 months.
This time we're not on copium. This time we're actually legit.
We're definitely legit because next week the Japanese pre-orders begin.
Right.
Yes.
And I've
always within 5 days before the trailer.
Yeah.
Before the reservations, there is a trailer rather.
And we never took that into account leading up to. But then again, we didn't know the reservation dates. This time they publicly announced it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they've announced it twice now as well. Like they're probably pushing for it. So they announced it with the orchestra music thing, and now they announced it again today. I was gonna post it actually, but yeah, I mean it's August 4th. They want us to know. Probably before August 4th.
August 3rd is my guess.
because past patterns, Sword and Shield was in June, a few days after that direct, and for Legends Arceus, it was like 2 or 3 days after that August presents.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all a day after, except Sword and Shield was 4 days before. The trailer was 4 days before the reservations.
So what do you guys think we're actually going to receive in this trailer?
New Pokemon, obviously, gimmick, official
like how much?
reveal of
You think they're gonna
gems.
just like dump everything, or just like I'm
No.
kind of predicting like like similar to the first trailer we got. It's gonna be like a mild, structured info dump. It'll be like very calculated, and they're gonna It's gonna.
I
Like,
wonder if it's a presents.
I think it is a presents because remember, they were recording the trailer in Spain, so
Right.
I think
it's gonna be one of
open.
those.
Just to do a
Yeah,
trailer.
it's gonna open up with the live action trailer. Then it's gonna cut into gameplay. We're gonna get a bunch of stuff dropped, and then Omori or whoever's directing this game is gonna sit down, and we're just gonna go through, and he's gonna be like, "Okay, let's explain what you just saw. This Pokemon is a thing. Here's the gimmick. Here's the legendaries. Here's actual gameplay. Here's some gym leaders
In the
pre-orders
Paldea
open.
region, there
Yes,
is a
and-
phenomenon known as Paradox Pokemon.
I don't think they're gonna do that one though.
I don't think they'll reveal that
What
one.
about
They'll
the
reveal
Pidgey?
that in October, I bet.
I do expect
Like
them
right
to
before the
close it.
game release.
There's one thing that they haven't announced yet, and I expect them to close the presents with it. That is the fact that they haven't announced the special edition Switch.
Oh,
OLED
dude,
Switch.
I will buy that.
Because they did that. They did that with the presents, and they did that with the Legends. Well, not the Legends. Yeah, the Legends Arceus event, but it was for the BDSP Switch Lite.
I'm due. I really hope it's on a Switch Lite. I've had my Switch.
It'll be an
5
OLED.
years.
That's
No,
why
it
they
has
did.
to-
That's why they did Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl as a Switch Lite, is because they knew the very next year they'd be dropping an OLED model.
Yeah,
wish we got a
it's
Legends
it's
game, a
definitely
Legends
the OLED
system.
model because they just announced the Splatoon 3 OLED model, and that looks amazing.
Bro, so hyped. All right,
Yeah.
well,
So
if something does drop before Tuesday, maybe we do like an emergency episode. But
Definitely.
It's
I don't think
we're
anything
right
will.
there.
Thinking
We are
Wednesday.
right there. Yeah, it's gonna be
I'm-
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling because like the pre-orders open on Thursday, don't they?
Yeah. So we're thinking the
Yeah.
day before.
Day before or
Imagine-
Tuesday?
With Legends Arceus, we got the presents announcement the Friday before. So the idea that we could get a presents announcement this Friday is kind of wild.
Wait, it was announced on a Friday?
Yeah, it was announced the Friday before with Legends Arceus. Sometimes they announce them only a day or two before, but with Legends, they announced it the Friday before. And with the Sword and Shield one, they announced it like 10 days before. But the reason they did that is because they had announced this press conference for like 2 days later. And
Yeah.
they knew people would expect Sword and Shield news at it. So they just went ahead and said, and we're doing a Sword and Shield direct later. That's where you're getting your Sword and Shield news. But Legends Arceus was announced the Friday before.
And was the presents on that Tuesday? Was it
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Oh,
Wednesday.
okay. So history might repeat itself. I think that's what we're experiencing here because again, that Legends Arceus was on. It was in August as well, and that would explain the large drought we're experiencing because they need time to film the live action trailer, edit it, direct it, cut that stuff down, and get it ready for next week. I think that's why we've experienced such a huge drought, and you
I
can
think
tell
it
they're
was
starting
always
to.
their plan. I think it was
Yeah.
always their plan.
And you can
Yeah.
tell it's starting to pump things back up because, like Soul said, with the orchestra, they announced the plush that they're going to do the first wave of Scarlet and Violet plushes with the starters. So,
Is anyone gonna buy this game because of a dope orchestra and some live action footage? Like I
Yeah.
was not I was not
Actually-
excited about the trailer until like with the security guard until we actually saw gameplay.
now because
Yeah,
we
of
all
course.
thought it was Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
I
gotta
bet the
disagree there,
stuffy
Duffy.
old guys were probably like, okay, this is our big game. Let's do a live action trailer.
I gotta
do
disagree there.
something
I
big.
actually never liked Pokemon, but when I saw that security officer walking up that escalator, I just knew that like this was a franchise I wanted to like dip my toes
Sink my
into.
teeth in and really invest my
Yeah.
money.
Yes,
Raising
yes.
my children in on Pokemon now.
Right. I have, probably like $1,000 worth of Pokemon cards behind me, and it's
Yeah, me too.
because of one segment with a
It's because
guy
I
with
thought
a
it was
flashlight.
Detective Pikachu and was pleasantly disappointed.
Right.
I wish Ruffled Rowlet was here. If you miss Ruffled Rowlet, please tell him how you feel in the comments. This is going to be the first episode of the PokeManiac's podcast that debuts on YouTube on the channel. Super excited to get this posted. We got SoulSilverArt. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. It's been a blast.
Lumio's post.
Hi guys,
He's
thank
there.
you for having me once again. Glad to be a permanent member. Check out my YouTube. I'm 11 subs away from 900 or 700.
900.
Say holy cow. Let's get him to 900 though.
Let's do that. Let's do it. And then Camtendo, of course.
There you go.
Camtendo's here, of course.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Or what should I say? Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, peace out.
I am trying to get the 1K on Twitter. That is my new goal.
Dude, me too. I know.
Dude, I'm like 4 or 5 people away from 14K. Somebody out there. Somebody.
I've been Dusty
Twitter.
Go. Guys, this is always a blast. I really hope we can talk to Ruffled Rowlet next week. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be playing some outro music right now. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Let us know how you think in the comments. We're days away from a new trailer. Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye.